Forgot to turn that off. Mute tab, very important. There it is. Greetings. It is I, your bard. Nothing more, nothing less. Here to share with you the finest in spiritual entertainment. And today we're going to be talking about what's going on up here or in here. Those voices. It's always somebody's voice speaking to you, right? How do you know it is your own? How do you know it is another voice? How do you know if it's spiritual? I don't know. No, I'm not a doctor, so I'm speaking from the context of my experience, the context of the things I've read about, life and mentalities and psychologies and spiritualities, so on and so forth. We got the wonderful Ace of Pentacles here in the background in the darkness, right? Sometimes this reality of darkness surrounding this is a symbol for prosperity. Sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes you'll interpret prosperity one way, but prosperity for you is a whole different reality, right? We are given a model for prosperity sometimes, right? And it usually has to do with lots of money or abundance of some kind, right? And we think that achieving that is the best for us, right? We begin to follow this pathway of seeking the abundance. But what we really need is a whole different reality, right? There's nothing, the greatest riches in this world is the wisdom that you pass on, not the house you pass on, not the automobiles or the bank account, or there's all kinds of things you can put in there, right? It is your wisdom that you're able to give on. That is one of the greatest riches of them all, right? To be able to experience that and to share that with somebody else, right? All these other things, they come and they go, right? Good to see you, Zeg, Steve, and our wonderful friend, Fresh Gaia Smile. Good to see you. And yeah, Blake, Gaia Incognito. Guy Incognito here again, just stopping by to send you the good energies. Thank you, my friend. I will accept your energies. I will accept the positivity, right? You love Pikachu, James. You are a Pikachu lover. You enjoy, are you into Pokemon? My son was into Pokemon for a few years. And then he got into like smoking reefer and playing video games and stuff like that. So he doesn't really do the Pokemon. You need a clear head to play Pokemon, right? You don't. When you go to a Pokemon championship, you don't see a bunch of reefer addicts, right? You see people playing with clear heads this game of Pokemon, right? And we have a Pokemon master in our Discord community, which you're all invited to by becoming a community member, right? Is the music okay? Is it at its perfect level, or do I need to turn it down? Have I ever pet a donkey? Oh, yes, I love donkeys. They are beautiful creatures. They always have very unique personalities, right? That's why we call them asses, right? Donkeys have a very unique form of personality, certainly, right? Yes, tap twice, my friends. Don't forget as you're coming in to hit the like button at the top screen. I'm going to be sharing some of my personal experience with hearing voices in my head, right? I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I know some people will think I am a lunatic or something. I don't mind. I could be, right? I'm not saying that I'm not, right? This is a conversation I have sometimes with my atheist friends. Like, that's all psychology you're speaking. The voices, whatever you're hearing, that is a sign of your delusion. I'm like, well, it's helpful to me, right? Whatever, if you want. See, I interpret most of my experiences from spirituality, but I'm not opposed to the idea of that my experiences come out of my madness, right? And my madness has been very beneficial to me. Uh, you just come across a random live, and they are promoting the eradication of life. Yeah, there's a lot of sick people out there. There's a lot of people that they don't see any value in humanity anymore. It's easily disposable. Just ask the Canadian system up there. If you're, for instance, there's a lady. She was like 80 years old, and she had a health problem. And the Canadian government's, well, you know what we can do for you? We can put you in the gas chamber, and you could save. You can help people save money. We can donate your organs. And she's like, "Fuck you." So now she is traveling the world, talking about her at 80 years old, traveling the world, saying, "Fuck you, Canada. I'm alive, and I am important, and I have meaning and purpose. I am not disposable." Okay. Um, yeah, I don't remember. I don't. This was a while ago, so I can't recall her YouTube channel. But I thought that was this old lady telling Canada to fuck off. Right. I thought that was amazing. Uh, Memmentam Gang, good to see you. The Disaster Peace Theater VHS. The battle isn't for the future. The battle is for history. Why does there have to be a battle at all? Who's battling, right? What kind of battle are we doing here, right? Are you talking about in the context of preserving factual history, right? Yeah. Whoever's in charge, they tell you what kind of history you want, right? Whoever's controlling things, they will give you their version of history, right? So you have to do your best with what you get, really, right? Baba Ganesh! Wouldn't it be more crazy to never hear an inner voice, a monologue or consciousness? Probably, I would say, yeah. Yeah, in that context, people think that is just one voice. Like, say, that's me. No, no, it's not you. That is your brain in its function, right? For the most part, right? Um, you only hear the voices in the moments of peace, right? And they all have faces. We put faces on them, right? Um, let's see. The Aragon was 87, 80 years old during the time of the Lord of the Rings. Oh my! You love the Lord of the Rings, do you? Yeah. Um, we have a good friend of the program here who does Lord of the Rings lore. His name is the Green Knight Tales. Yeah, he does wonderful lore. He stops in every now and then to says hello. It's good to see you, Pickles, the fine drummer. You got your pickle out today, my friend? You're out doing the drumming? Yeah. Hooray, and Tyron is here. They do have faces when you think about them. Yeah, you put a face on it. Like, my God is like the face of Jesus or the Virgin Mary usually, or Cadwin. There's all kinds of different faces that I put on that divine voice, right? Like and subscribe, my friends. Ryan, good to see you. Antonia Skywalker, you are struggling. You are the bastard son of Darth Vader, right? You are the bastard son. You are the untold story of Darth Vader's affairs with Yaddle, the Yoda that was on the Jedi Council, but she was the girl Yoda. You don't see it anymore because of an illicit affair with Anakin Skywalker, who had Antonia Skywalker. It's a love child between. You see Yaddle in episode 1. She is on the Jedi Council, a female Yoda, right? You never see her again, right? Because of this scandal, right? You feel like why music is so powerful? It helps with the voices. It certainly does, right? It certainly does. It can be very healing. It can drown them out when they're annoying the shit out of you, right? Um, are we just waiting to die? Some people are. Are you dying to live or living to die? It's either one or the other, right? Um, what most people do is they live for what's going to happen in the future, right? Instead of living for the now, right? It's hard to live for the now. It really is. Because you have all these voices up here saying, you should be, then you'll be happy. When you learn to say, no, I'm happy now because I choose to be, even though I'm in pain, right? Even though I'm in pain. So I have all this. I'm waiting till a little bit more people are on, and I have this little thing on Substack that I want to share with all of you. Good to see you. Lotto Gameplays, good to have you here. Good to have you here. The voices you have, when you think of them, they're like tree people. They are all connected in terms of their roots, and they branch out, and uh, there's somewhat of an experience of community. Yeah. Disney wants to remove Yaddle from canon. Yeah, it's too bad, right? Because of the scandal. Because of the scandal, right? Good morning, Tony Starborn. Good to have you here. You're tapping your foot and checking your watch and making a list and checking it twice. You are doing the work of the claws now, are you? Um, we're all waiting to die. It's what you do in the meantime. Yeah, death is going to happen. There's no way to get out of it. That's the easiest part of your life, is to know that you're going to die. What's not easy is living, right? Uh, what's not easy is having purpose. You're going to die. It's going to happen. But living is a whole different beast, right? What you do with your life, right? You are an atheist. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Is that an anarchy symbol? I can't make out your symbol there. It looks kind of like an anarchy symbol. I don't, Sleazy, we don't do politics here. I don't give a shit. This isn't the place to talk about your political desires or who you are for, who you hate. This is not the context that we do. If you have a struggle in life that's political, I'm not interested in it, right? I'm glad that you have things that you stand for. I mean, that's important to people, but I don't care. How many D&D voices do you think you have collected over the years? At least a dozen or so. I mean, these are real entities, real realities that I can take upon and enter an altered state of consciousness. That's why the idea of the method actor. Now, some of these guys are just being dicks. When I get into my acting, when I become the reality, I still know that there's boundaries, right? I don't become a dick to other people, right? If I'm stuck in this mentality. Let's see here. Right now, you are living for your wisdom bard. Good morning, sir. Good to have you here. The Chum Dog Billionaire. Got an adorable doggy. You see the doggy on this channel? Oh my goodness. That's your doggy, right? That you have? He's got an adorable doggy. Oh my goodness. Is a pit bull, right? I love pit bulls. They're such adorable creatures. They have a bad rap, right? Because some of them have done terrible things. They're wild. There's a context for them, right? They're very loyal and they're very adorable, but there's a context for keeping such powerful animals, right? When I lived in Detroit, every now and then these animals would get loose and maul people, right? So there was like a pit bull scare back in the 80s. You're walking down the street, you see a pit bull, you're like, oh shit, don't move, walk slowly, right? Because they have no fear, these animals. And if they find you a threat, they have the ability to lock their jaws onto your arm, and you can't let them loose. Their jaws lock. Yeah. You're rolling a joint. Look at that. Let's see here. Where are we at? The painter was right, you think? Yeah. Kiki is here. Good to see you, Kiki. Are there voices of every race and class of D&D or what? Well, it depends on your creativity, really. Now, if you are an actor, if you really got into a character, that character becomes a part of you the rest of your life, whether you like it or not. It exists within you. It's a reality that you have given life to in your creativity. Like if you read books, these beings are living. They speak to you. They share wisdom with you, right? Like the Lord of the Rings, as someone was mentioning earlier. I mean, this reality of the Lord of the Rings is always sharing wisdom with you. This is a living reality that has been created, right? Trinity, good to see you. Their jaws do not lock. So I was misinformed. I was taught when I was younger that if they bite onto you, they won't let go. They lock their jaws to you. and you have to do all. We had like training to deal with pit bulls when I was younger because of the scare in Detroit. To how to get them off you, what is appropriate. We're taught hold out your arm, let them bite your arm, the one that you don't use, and then deal with them that way rather than just let them bite you. Right. So we had all this training because there was a pit bull scare in the 80s. Right. But you why don't you educate me? Your Huckleberry, you have a pit bull. I don't have one, so I'm unaware. I'm just sharing what I experienced in the 80s. It's all about how the pit bull was raised. Pit bulls are smart. Yeah, they're beautiful creatures. Like I said, our friend here, Slumdog Billionaire. He's got a beautiful dog. Yeah. Good to see you, the chauffeur of Ariana Grande. Good to have you here for your entertainment leisure in the morning. I am far off. What do you mean by that? I think I've been very reasonable and rational. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad to catch your live. Thank you, Pickles. Yeah, we have a wonderful. I will stream an extra hour. Is my normal thing now in the mornings. If I get 5 super chats, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 5 cents. I will stream an extra hour. Have you spoken to a species from the dark arts called females? Well, females to me are divine rather than dark. When I look in the face of my wife, I see divinity. When I see my daughters, I see divinity. I don't think this idea that the female species is somehow hostile is a terrible thing we get from the Abrahamic religions, right? Oh, the Pickles are here. All animals feel fear, but they act in defense without understanding. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Good morning. Okay, let me share with you what I wanted to talk to you about. About this idea of voices in my head, hearing voices. Now, for most of my life, I didn't understand the difference between voices that helped me and voices that harmed me. I've encountered a lot of people being harmed by their own voices, right? In conversation, as I was saying with my atheist friends, I have heard the suggestion that I might be delusional, right? And I don't take offense to that because the psychology behind that is well established, and I accept that as a possible interpretation that I certainly could be delusional. What matters to me is that the voices I have heard have made me a better person, whether I'm delusional or not. They have helped me, right? Whether they come from my own mind or from another source doesn't matter to me, right? I define them, of course, in the context of spirituality, because that has been the framework that I have, became used to over the years, right? Now, the voices that have caused the most damage to me are not the ones that I can hear audibly, right? I've heard, like you could say, terrible evil entities mock me, right? I know that it is evil, and I can say, you're a different voice, you are an entity that is I don't like, right? The ones that are most harmful in terms of the voices are not the ones I can clearly understand. They're the ones that masquerade as my own thoughts. These are the ones that are most terrible. They tell you how to think of yourself. They usually speak from a negative point of view, like you'll never add up, you'll never be able to do that. You're terrible, you're shameful, you're guilty, so on and so forth, right? These quiet voices have led me into terrible experiences because I believe them without question. I thought, that's me. The thoughts are me. So I'm dealing with anxiety now because of the way my brain has been wired with all of these interior thoughts that are my consciousness, right? that speak to me and tell me how to live, how to operate, and accepting that as that who I am. Like, terrible, terrible thoughts in my mind, and saying, well, I must be terrible, right? I must be terrible because, or I must be a pervert, right? A freak because of what's going on in here, right? Because that's your brain, right? That's you. That's how I understood it, right? Alan Watts spoke about this problem when he said that a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except the thoughts, and so he loses touch with reality, right? When you think your thoughts are you are losing touch with reality, right? If you take a moment to look at yourself, your the way that your brain, you have a brain, you have a machine that operates on certain principles and certainly can be damaged, right? When you are able, you have this unique ability to look at yourself and see, oh, let's look at that, right? Without letting those thoughts tell you who you are, right? And I've been learning to do that. I've been learning to look at what's going on up here and say, oh, big deal, right? I don't care, right? Your brain functions in a certain way, and your consciousness operates at a certain level, and it's something that you have to inform. And I inform mine by sometimes telling it to fuck off, right? I inform it by saying it's going to be okay. So there's a connection with your thoughts and how you feel, right? There's a psychosomatic relationship, right? That can be very unfortunate for people when they're being tormented by their own mind, right? And you tend to define your life by how you feel and you think, right? And it's very difficult to say, oh, I'm an operation. There's something going on here. I don't have to maintain this experience if I don't want to, right? It is certainly there. It's in my thoughts and my feelings, but it's time for me to inform my feeling and my thought. It's time for me to add the information and say, I don't care, right? Big deal, right? And that takes practice, right? Now, Alan Watts shows us that, even our thoughts are not us. Basically, the mind is an organ that produces thoughts on its own, right? And that is difficult to separate yourself enough to see that, right? Some of you have these thoughts like, what the fuck, right? Why did I think about, I joke around about, some of the perverted shit that comes in people's minds, right? Like wanting to get it on with a box of cereal or something. Why would you think that way? Maybe I'm a pervert. No, for whatever, this has been, something's going on in your brain chemistry that, decides that, there's some type of need that you have. There's a box of cereal right there, right? That's not you. That is a process of information that is accepting various points of data and sometimes coming to a terrible conclusion about your behavior, right? You don't let that have to define you, right? Now, this separation is especially difficult for young people because their hormone levels are so powerful, so strong. They enter the society and have all of these needs. And it's really hard to walk away from yourself. Now, if you learn to do this shit when you're young, you will be very powerful when you're old. If you learn to realize that I need to step away from what's going on upstairs here, right? Their thoughts are defined for them, right? They are told how they should conduct themselves, how they should act. These are all programmed into your hardware, right? So it's very hard for people to separate their self from this operation, right? The thoughts belong to us, certainly, right? But they don't have to define. Carl Jung, I mentioned many times before, he says that life really begins after 40. Everything else before that is research. right? Because when you turn 40, something happens with your brain chemistry, your body begins to change, and you're able to step back from yourself, right? Um, you're not operating anymore by your hormonic levels. You're not only concerned with procreation anymore after you're 40. Those processes slow down, so you're able to think. Now, I've joked around about erectile dysfunction, right? And how that's kind of a blessing to people, because now you can use your mind rather than your private parts to determine who you want to be in a relationship with, right? When you're operating that, you don't care. You're there for the release. You're not there for the person, right? So that's one of the blessings of old age, is now you could say, well, I want to, like somebody who's nice, right? And that's what I joke around about that. So after 45, I think I finally began to understand what's going on up here with all these voices within me, what they actually were. I could see which ones were rooted in fear, which ones were old wounds, and which ones were genuine attempts at guidance, right? As a former clergyman, I got to hear people tell me about all kinds of voices all the time, right? In church, one of the most notorious voices you will hear about as a clergyman, if you work in a church, I don't feel like God loves me. Where does that come from? Because you're telling the people, right? If you're a good clergyman, you're telling your people, yes, God loves you. But then there's this other voice that says, no, he doesn't. You're terrible, right? So one of the most regular things you'll hear, and you have to encourage people to say, that's not you. You need to renew your mind. That's not God. You're making that up. Your brain, for whatever reason, doesn't want you to think you're worthy. So you have to recondition the way you think about yourself. And when you feel this, that God doesn't love you, is it rooted in your truth or your religious truth, right? Where does that come from? It's usually from old wounds, right? If you don't have a good relationship with your parents, you're going to have a very difficult time getting to know divinity as a loving father or mother, right? A lot of rejection against the divine is most often rooted in, what you've experienced as a child, right? Your parents were assholes, so you think God is an asshole. That is a common thing in psychology, right? Now, I spoke with many people who struggled with voices that demand obedience, right? Or else. This is a common voice for religious people. Obey or I won't like you anymore. That is the voice often given from the pulpit, from the Bible, from institutional religion. And that's not the voice that is beneficial to you. It's benefiting somebody else. So you find yourself enslaved to this reality, right? It is difficult when the voices become audible enough to claim to be God. Some of you religious people know what I mean. God said this. God told me that. No, he didn't. That was you. Why would God have you do something that dumb, right? For whatever reason, our psychology, for some of us, can become audible. It can become very profound and deep, where we feel that we have received some type of divine communication. And it might be, but if God's being an asshole, it's probably not him, right? It's probably your own voice, your own wounds, your own problems, or maybe, like I said, I am a spiritual person, so an entity that is not in favor of you, right? Now, I've always told people to be the voice in charge. When you're dealing with what you're conscious, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. To be the voice in charge when you're speaking with what's going on in here, right? To be able to separate yourself. The mind can speak, but you don't have to obey it, every sound it makes. And the challenge is learning to recognize which voice helps you the best, right? Which one is encouraging you, which one is inspiring you, because the program is there. So at some point, I'm programming you. I'm trying to become a voice in your head, the voice of the bard, right? I'm trying to get in your head right now. So when you think of positivity, you see my face talking to you, right? You're like, I remember him talking to me. Yes, that's what he said, right? That voice of positivity, right? To be the face of that voice. Yeah, it's very difficult dealing with these things. The goblins are here. Good to see you. Like and subscribe as you come in, friends. We're talking about hearing voices. Some of you hear voices. I've heard voices. And which is the good voices? Which ones are you? So on and so forth. The power of your psychology, and to trying to make sense of it, to have purpose with it. We do have a chat goal today of 5 super chats. Could be anything you want, and I will do an extra hour of streaming. The word Trinity is nowhere in the Bible. What the hell does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Do you see these people? That's an example of a voice telling them they must impose their religion. See, they don't know the honesty of this. I will tell you. They feel that if they don't talk about it, somehow they'll be disqualified from their God. Okie dokie, thank you for joining our community. If you join our community, my friends, there's a join button. You can access our Discord server. You get cool emojis. We play games. I don't know what we're going to play tonight. I haven't decided what we're going to do tonight. I might do a traditional old school game or something, or if one of my community members wants to play a game, we could do that. Fiona, good to see you. Yeah, you see, these people that come on here every day, these Christian friends of ours, not all of them are like this. And some of the Muslims as well. There's a voice telling them that they must do this or else, right? It is a false voice that is speaking to them through their consciousness. That is how they've been informed about deity, that deity wants results, that deity expects you to act, to believe, to proclaim, or you will be disqualified. You will hurt the deity's feelings. You will somehow, not get as much treasure in the end or something. You get less virgins to screw or some other stuff, right? I mean, it's all programming up here, right? And it's good to step away and to recognize your own bullshit, right? If you could just step a moment away and just start to look at your thoughts. Why do I think that way? The why is this voice? That thought is not you. It is your consciousness. It is your programming in your brain that allows you to experience the world a certain way, right? Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look at that. We're on our way to our chat goal. Look at that. You really want me to be here another hour, don't you? We appreciate you, Kimberly. You have this, all of us struggle with this, right? And we don't know it until someone gives us the information about how this works, right? I wish I would have known young. I feel like I wasted a lot of my life, being enslaved to all of these things in my mind that were telling me how to live, right? And for some people, it's quite tormenting because you can actually, your thoughts take on presence and form, right? Now, I am not, I am not diagnosed schizophrenic. That is a terrible, terrible experience that some people suffer for it. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, Carl Jung and Alan Watts in the human psychology. Some people's, in terms of that truth, that diagnosis that some people have, right? It is a terrible thing they suffer with. But where do these voices come from, right? Why are they there? What are they doing? What is their origin? What gives them power, right? There is healing for people, I believe, that struggle with that. And I talked about yesterday the Nobel Prize winner, The Beautiful Mind, is the movie is called, that Russell Crowe back in the 80s. That was based on a true story of a man who learned how to talk to his voices and to tell them to fuck off when he needed to. They like to be loud, but you have the power to be louder. People have come to me over the years, talking about demons and things like that, right? And the demons don't leave. They stick around. They annoy the shit out of the people. And they call on Jesus like, what's happening? Am I a sinner? I'm like, no. You need to learn how to control your house. When you have terrible relatives that are over that won't leave, what should you do? Make them uncomfortable, right? So if you have these voices that are annoying the shit out of you, do the opposite of what they want. Make them uncomfortable. Tell them to fuck off, right? And remember, I'm not a psychologist. Please don't take any of this medical advice, right? I'm a Satan worshiper. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, here. Are you really gay? Today is Tuesday, so yes. I am a homosexual on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, when I left Christianity a year ago, my wife's boyfriend said, now it's the time to come out of the closet. Let's do it slow. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll get you a Grindr account. Yeah. Our narcissist demons. The brain chemistry of sociopaths and psychopaths, right? Where does that all begin, right? That is a brain chemistry issue, right? It is, and we call it demon, right? We call religious people, they had a way of interpreting the mind. And because of our sciences, we know much better, and we are able to heal better now. To be able to help a narcissist see that they're a narcissist is the greatest feat, right? And it is possible. It is possible for these people to have this moment of humility where they recognize it's not right up here. And there are people that go through therapy and work on these narcissistic tendencies, right? It's a very difficult thing to admit that you are one, right? I was a control freak most of my life. That is something I have struggled with terribly, right? Because I was controlled. And to be able to unravel that pattern of thinking, right? Especially with your children, right? I've told my kids, if I repeat myself to you, please tell me, because my brain doesn't work like it did 20 years ago. You know the idea of nagging, right? I recognize that when I start nagging, that's because of my tendency to control. I should just say it one time, but I repeat it over and over again in various forms until I think they get it. And that's inappropriate. So I've told my kids, my older kids, if you see me doing this, please tell me. Because, once you're older, you don't have the control you once did when you were younger over the mind. It doesn't. That's why old people, you look at them like, what's wrong with these people? Their brain doesn't work like it did when they were 25, right? It's not their fault, but they're stuck in certain patterns of thought that they carry with them into their old age, right? Oh, where am I at here? I am a member of the Illuminati. The Emperor is the biggest narcissist. You are a heretic. Therapy for the Emperor. The Irish cam clips. I really enjoyed your you did a live broadcast of your bird feeder. That was very enjoyable to see it all play out in the live. That was a ingenious. I would like to do like a live broadcast of my bunnies, right? They're so adorable, but they always run around. It's hard to keep them in one spot, right? Bards don't live in the streets. But the idea of the bard really is just the one with the voice that inspires you, right? And that has many faces. There's the traditional bards of my ancestors who worked in the courts of kings, preserving the history and saying the poetry. But the reality of the bard is really about the voice. I mean, the history is worthless if the bard can't communicate it to you in a way that it goes into your heart, right? David is here. Good to see David. And Mr. and Mrs. Goblin, all of our friends are here. Do I breed the bunnies? I have a female and male bunny, but they are inbred for many generations, I would assume. Some rednecks put it at the pet store, and they don't have the brightest intellect either, unfortunately. But I love them, right? I love them. I know they're not able to breed. They try, right? But nothing comes of it. I mean, they're middle aged now. They're six. They're going on 7 years in January. 7 years. They are old. Yeah, 2000 is when we got them. Yeah, so they are old. They are inbred, and thankfully, it would break my heart to give away the offspring of the bunny. So I'm kind of glad. It's kind of like, whatever forces that be that led me to that moment to buy these rabbits. They knew that I couldn't handle giving away the offspring, which would certainly be a terrible thing to experience because they do it all the time, rabbits, right? Let's see here. No politics. Yeah, we don't do that shit. You see, these people that they think this way as a way to find meaning and purpose. This machine of the consciousness says politics, politics, identity, identity, friends, foes, friends. They're all programmed and they don't know it. It's really sad. I mean, I was one of these people too. Walking away from it, I could see it. Even in friends of mine now. Like in my I love my Druid circle, but every now and then, someone will crack a joke about the president and start talking about socialism. I don't have a problem with socialism, but what about the new people that come into our community? They might have different political philosophies. Now they're going to feel like strangers because a line was drawn in the sand, right? I've been on both sides of the shit in terms of politics, right? And I've learned to walk away from it. I've learned to see that I don't need an identity from it. The politics of wanting justice and good things and values in the world, that's important, right? That's an important thing. But I shouldn't have to destroy you in order to achieve my goals, right? Where are we at here? Not to Bunny, you don't like rabbits? Deeply rooted acceptance issue with internally. I put yourself vulnerable positions where I purposely don't speak up for myself because you want to maintain peace in the environment. Yeah, that's how you've deceived yourself. This idea of the passivity sometimes it comes across as you created to be a virtue, right? And you let people walk all over you. Like the idea of the turning of the other cheek has been so misused by Christians. They don't understand that in order to turn the other cheek, you have to have another option not to. Like you can't just get beat up and say, "Oh, I did it for Jesus," right? That's not really you don't have any power for anything else, right? The idea of turning the other cheek is I could do something else. Like going back to like Martin Luther King Jr. and the activism that he did. He had the power, like the Black Panthers. He could have done that. He could have organized a militia. But he chose to turn the other cheek as a form of healing, as a form of power to change the situation. So, so this idea of passivity without purpose really is just letting people walk all over you, right? I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I mean, that's there's a certain context I can get from reading words on a screen, and if that's not your context, I apologize. Gary's grandma's shit. You like the ice cream socials, do you? Oh, Gary's grandma. Yeah. Farmer Fiona, our good friend. We love all of your wonderful images from Ireland. We appreciate them. Yeah. Yeah. All the Irish and the Welsh people are here today, right? So many prostate Sam. I was just thinking about you this morning. Yeah, so many contradictions. John the Baptist fulfilled a prophecy, and there was contradicted, and Jesus said he was wrong. Yeah, there's all these agendas, right, that people have in their materials when it comes to religion. Right? Are you really becoming religious? Are you becoming controlled? Is what you need to ask yourself. When someone's bringing you religious wisdom, are they really helping your humanity, or are they trying to control you? It's real easy to be controlled and call it spirituality. It's real easy to be controlled and think that you are now loving God when you're not. You cannot love God if you're being controlled by a religious institution. That is just a matter of fact, because you have yielded your freedom you've outsourced it, right? You now, this other thing is your God, and not the God that you should be loving, right? You have made the church your God, and the Catholic Church is really good at that. It's made itself its own infallible reality that demands your adherence, right? All churches tend to do this stuff. Not all churches are bad. Not all Christians are bad. But the reality of Christianity in its history has been a false god in the world. Your grandpa has a roving rabbit. I visited him the other day. That's beautiful. A whale of approval. I love rabbits, obviously. My rabbits videos are like my top videos. So nobody else wants to hear the philosophy and the spirituality. It's all about the rabbits here. So I've run with it, right? Don't forget, my friends, as you're coming in, is the music too loud? Is it just right? I forgot to ask. Did I ask it already? I don't want it conflicting with my voice. Yeah. Now, don't forget to hit the like button at the top of your screen, or double tap, or go to the 3 bars. That's important to me because I make a living doing this. If you could just do the courtesy of touching that and subscribe. I do this every morning. And there's not always a topic. I just, whatever you want to talk about, right? Really. These past 2 days, we've had 3 days the topic, right? We also have a chat goal today. I will stream an extra hour. If we get to 5 super chats, we need 2 more to go. And that could be whatever generosity. You can give 10 cents. I don't care. But that is my super chat goal for the day. So I do this to make a living. It helps me to pay my bills. And I do this 40 hours a week. I am on here doing my show in the morning and playing games in the evening usually. Yeah. You really want to grow an organic produce. You're on a farm, right? Why can't you? Yeah. I have lots of friends, data hoarders. Can you see that? Save for yourself? Yeah. Word Protestants referred to as duns ma aka aduns. Yeah. The problem with Protestantism is they're in a perpetual state of protesting. They have no authenticity, right? They're always against the Catholic Church. They are the Catholic Church. They're the extreme form of it, right? Even the Catholic Church recognizes them as sons and daughters of the church, right? So you're not really protesting anything. You're not helping. The church itself is terrible. The church is an entity that must disappear from the world because it's not helping the world. It's controlling humanity. It's keeping you in one place, running in place. If you need any help with anything, you know where I am. Oh, boy. The voice of the bard. Yeah. Did you read the Gospel of Judas when Jesus laughs at the apostles? Yeah, I've gone through all of the liturgy of the Gnostics like that. And that one's an interesting one because Judas is a hero because he is the one that has to make this terrible sacrifice in order for Jesus to be sacrificed. I mean, it's an interesting thing. It talks about how martyrdom pretty much is dumb. The idea of people going out and giving their lives for ideas rather than for real purpose. So flame drop the law. Oh, praise the holy bee, the legume of God that loves, forgives, and rests in the wonderful tomato sauce. Thank you, my friend. Our wonderful jeweler, the official jewelry maker of our Discord channel is here. Has brought us up once, one more. That's all it takes, and I'll be here another hour. And we haven't even finished the first hour yet. Right? Okie dokie, good to see you. Light black candles, is that what you enjoy doing? What does that do for you, the black candles? I've lit black candles during like Mabon, black and a white candle, the equinoxes. You have one like day and night becoming equal. You have a black and white candle that you can flip over, and when the light burns away, it's all black. There's a lot of meaning and purpose beyond that. I remember that my girlfriend's mother was into all kinds of witchy things. And I was going to the casino. This is back when I was like 19 years old. She gave me a candle to burn, and I won. I won like it was a $250 or $500. I can't remember. And at the casino. This was up in Windsor. There's a boat casino I went on, and I burnt this candle. I won. I mean, I don't know if the candle did it or not, but once I won, I got the hell out of there. I'm like, I could lose this all fast. And I haven't been back to a casino since, right? It's easy to lose yourself in those things, right? Billy, our good friend, good to see you. Billy and Fiona have been here since the beginning. Since the beginning, right? Where's Professor Dumbledore? He died. Did you not watch the movies? Did you not watch the movies? And Stinkers Phil Bill is here. Good to see you, Bill. Hope you're having a good day. You're summoning dark souls, are you? You are. Have I seen how many Lucky Charms are there in the old bingo halls? Yeah, right? For people who are supposed to be shunning such practices, you will find that shit. You go to a Knights of Columbus bingo hall, right? They're raising money. People got their rabbit's foots and shit, right? This is mainly a problem with being a part of Catholic culture, seeing it, right? The Protestants, they never have those bingo halls and things. It's very rare, right? I remember when I lived in Detroit, this one church downtown, it's a Catholic church. My father, who is into all of this debauchery, he's like, let's go to the church. I want to go to the Vegas night. And so we're down there. He's spending all of his Social Security welfare check on gambling and booze and everything. Well, I'm learning about religion. Am I a grand wizard? Well, it depends on how much you pay. You just heard the system of doom scrolling on a smartphone is designed, the addiction of slot machines. Yeah. What's really notorious now is the slot machines you can download and put your credit card on. That is a problem that you're going to hear more about in the future, and how terrible that is of an addiction for people, right? Now, some people can just walk away from games, but some things are designed to really sucker you in. So you have to be careful. Oh, Ashley G, good to see you. And the servant of Anubis is here, Vixen. Anubis is a wonderful psychopump. This reality that escorts you to the other life, right? In psychology, the psychopump has many faces in mythology and human history. And the dog has always been a very unique one. You find that in Hecate as well. You know, the dogs of Hecate, right? You also catch yourself doom scrolling when you're trying to sleep in bed. Yeah. We are addicted to our phones, right? We feel drawn to them, right? Now that I have a business on my phone, I have to be on there most of the day, monitoring and, checking stats and so on and so forth. And, trying to help other people as well. Like if you're a community member of mine and you have a YouTube channel, like if you are a member, if I see your name in green or blue, or if you're on my Discord channel, if your videos come up in my feed, I will always like it and I will always comment. I want you to be successful. And I learned that from Zergzerk. He would always like my videos. So I started doing that back to everybody. It's a good practice. If you want to build up your community, help other people to prosper. And they're liking your stuff. It's only a courtesy to like and subscribe to people who are into your building you up, right? And there's a lot of stuff now that I have on my feed that I do my best to, catch up at some point in the day, liking and subscribing to my friends. You're growing oak trees every year, Fiona. You're going to the Abbey and killer me. I can't say these Irish words. Carl, good to see you. Carl Crum, good to have you here. The bard is a giver, not a taker. Well, I love to take. Give me your money. I need one more super chat, and I'll be here another hour, right? There are tons of outlawing marijuana in Massachusetts. Yeah, it's sad, right? Marijuana has always been the subject of control, right? For people who want to have power over you. And the marijuana has always been a scapegoat, right? It's sad, right? That I don't know what's going to happen to my gummies in November. They say everything's going to be fine, but I've been stocking up. And our friend Steve here, Grinder Steve, he's been growing his own marijuana plants, right? Christ is your Lord. May you see his light. And how do you know that I'm not seeing his light and knowing his truth? Who gave you the power to judge my heart? I've only been sharing good and positive things here and having conversations with people. Who do you think you are to judge me, right? See, the reality in terms of consciousness, once again, this person has been given a blueprint of behavior. And anything that contradicts that blueprint in his programming is automatically disqualified. And that disqualification of others is something that feeds his spirituality. And you will find that a lot in religion. We are not like them, right? That somehow gives them a sense of spirituality. But if you take a good look, I bet if I took a good look at his life, there'd be no light there. It's all words. There's no real substance. Guaranteed, people that spam scriptures and Jesus verses and stuff like that, I guarantee if you spent a few hours with them, you learn right away there's nothing there of value, right? Because they've been living in this illusion, this blueprint for what spirituality is. You found an acorn, look at you. You carry it in your pocket. That's wonderful. Once you got your operations done, God will, you'll gain momentum. All right, looking for that. Best decision you ever made, Steve, was to grow your own reefers, right? You cannot see how people are complaining. It's taxed heavily and it's medical benefits. Yeah, I just want the government to leave my reefers alone. Hey, government, leave my reefers alone. Yeah. Yaldabaoth is the Dimurge, a flawed, arrogant, and often malevolent false god. Yeah, what does that do for me? Right? What is that doing for you? Yeah, it's easy to talk about, right? But is it really doing anything for you? Right? You also bought, I go to the church just to borrow the priest's gospel. I go to random page and ask Jesus for a message. Yeah, I really, see, that is a form of divination called Bible roulette. Now, Christians complain about other forms of divination like tarot cards, but they do this Bible roulette. It's just the same thing, right? Oh, DL Ken is here. Oh my, good to see you, DL Ken. You give his synchronicity. What? Yeah, the truth is, Fiona, that can work in any book. It doesn't have to be the Bible. Now, we use certain like sacred things for the symbols and the psychology of it, right? Like I use runes, right? Because it has a certain symbolism that speaks to my subconscious, right? And that's why I'm more interested in reading the runes than making like an ABCD on a piece of paper, cutting it out and guessing. But you can do it. You could flip a coin. I'd rather read a rune than flip a coin when I'm trying to make decisions because there's a conversation there. So I like using runes just like you using the Bible for your divination. Yeah. Bod is cute today. You want to go out on a date? It is Tuesday. You can hit me up on Grindr. Battletoads Double Dragon was Pete. Yeah. What was really fun about Double Dragon is that when it was in the arcade back in the 80s, you could beat other people up that were playing with you. they would get pissed off, some of them, right? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick you in the head, right? That was a unique experience that no other game gave you back in the 80s, right? Cannabis can help curb opioid addiction. Excellent results. Yeah. Yeah. When I detox from opioids, I do it every month. I increase my intake of cannabis. It's a perfect way. Yeah, I take cannabis usually in the evenings, but when I'm detoxing, I'll take it in the morning. Right? Um, can we all give the bard compliments and make him blush? You're trying to get me an erection, is what you're doing. Right? Use coffee. Yeah, that's coffee is a universal drug right there. Right? The coffee. Right? It's our go-to substance for most of us, right? The coffee. Don't forget, my friends, like button at the top of your screen. I do this every day, talking about voices in my head. If you missed my conversation about it, it's on my Substack. If you go to the About Me, you can, if you like to read, it's all there on my Substack. Go to the About Me on my YouTube page. There's a link to my Substack. It's free. It's just like a newspaper, right? That I use a few times a month. Talk about topics if you're interested in that. Like and subscribe and join. Very important. I live off the coffee donation there. That is my bread and butter for paying my bills. I do this every day as a service to humanity. I enjoy doing it. And as long as people buy me coffees, small, medium, or large, I will be here for the next 25 years, every damn morning, unless something happens. I've only missed probably 3 times in the past year for various reasons, usually illness. But I usually hear every morning for you. So think about becoming a community member. You can join our Discord. You can get cool emojis and things. Yeah. Prescription opioid is the worst. Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult. I practice it. I've been using opioids for 20 something years for my terrible condition. And I'm not addicted to it. I can walk away from it. But when you walk away from it, it's like you're not eating dinner. You feel a hunger. And it kind of sucks. So marijuana has been a great way to walk away from it. I do it every month. I detox because I don't want to be where I need to take more. And I want to have a sense of sobriety a few times a month, right? Let's see here. Where am I at? You are reading to grow mushrooms. You need to make some aged manure, which you can have in abundance. But you're on a farm. I'm sure the manure is in abundance, right? On your farm there, Fiona. Things with stuff. If you're stuffing curly withdrawal from a prescription medication, I highly recommend cannabis. Yeah, people have quit drinking alcohol with cannabis, right? Yeah, it's a great healing tool. We appropriate you, Bob. Thank you. I am appropriate. Thank you, Ashley. Don't you love it? Spell check tells you are saying you appreciate me, but appropriate is funny, right? Yeah, 20 years I've been suffering from pain, chronic pain for 20 years. I'm still alive. I'm still well. I'm still good. I get physicals all the time, blood tests to make sure my liver is functioning correctly. And my doctor says I am as healthy as I can be for my age. Yeah. You have 3 herniated discs, baseball size, unborn twin attached to it. Oh, that's terrible. Right? That's terrible. Yeah. They've made some interesting horror movies recently in the past 5 years about twins that are, the twin that is born with you in your body, and how these movies are like. There's this one where the twin would appear on the back of the head and start murdering people, would take over the body of the person. I mean, this is a really gruesome twin movies, right? Like that are like that. You can't combination of alcohol and cannabis. Yeah, that's a good way to put on the pounds, right? The alcohol and the cannabis. You got that extra munches. Yeah. Alcohol combined with cannabis can be dangerous. It can intensify the alcohol effects. Yeah, I've seen some of that at the store. Cannabis infused beer. You are saying that is a dangerous idea. Yeah, I remember talking to the liquor store gentleman. Like, does this get me high? I mean, what does it do? Is it just beer with um, like a few drops of cannabis in it, or what? Um, alcohol is evil for you? Yeah. I'm a recreational drinker. I just finished up my Lunasa stash last week, and I gained 7 pounds. I can't drink every night like I used to. Immediately, as soon as I stopped my Lunasa stash, I lost 2 pounds right away. So I'm working that weight off now that I gained over 2 weeks. Isn't that terrible? When you're old, your metabolism is shit. See, alcohol is a terrible thing. Um, I don't want to go back to where I was. I lost 50 pounds by using cannabis instead of alcohol. Um, the Human Caterpillar movie. Oh shit! Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, cocaine and alcohol turns your blood to alcohol. Ethanol. Yeah, that's a terrible addiction. Yeah. You wish you never watched that movie, The Human Centipede or whatever it's called. Let's smoke on. I eat reefer. I don't smoke it. I don't. Yeah. You had a tough day yesterday, and I did not want to have a drink, so I went and bought some kava instead. Kava is an excellent thing to relax you. A lot of it is no longer. You can't get it the way you used to. Calvatrol was the shit like 20 years ago. That was really powerful, and then the government put all types of regulations. Now you can buy kava in tea form from Hawaii. That has the same relaxing effects. The kava. Has anyone ever tried Cavatrol 20 years ago? I'm like, that was really good stuff, but you can't find it anymore. Try oats overnight. You want me to take a dump? Oh, let's see. It wasn't scary. It was just disgusting. Yes, those movies like that, right? Make you ill. Uh, let's see here. I mean, if you're drunk and then smoke spliff, you get shit feelings. Oh, smoking leads straight to the fridge. Yeah, that's what the munchies do to you, right? Um, Not really a horror movie, just disgust. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm probably not going to now. Some of these movies are just, what is the point, right? Some of them are just so foul um, that, I mean, what is the point of it? I mean, where's the horror in it, right? You tried Salvia 100 times. It was terrible. Yeah. I don't want to go anywhere near that. Yeah. They used enemas. That's why it's disgusting. Yeah. You ever overdose on enemas? Yeah. You have a good coffee enema in the morning with a little tube up the backside, right? A spliff bowl blacked you out, really. The bard helps the weak and vulnerable. Praise the bard. Good to have you here, Solar Flare. Good to see you. What do I think of DMT? I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it, right? After hearing testimonies of what is done to people, like when I heard, what's his name? The guy who did all that pyramid stuff. What was this? He did all those cool Netflix TV shows. He talked about going on the DMT trip, and the beings he met there were not friendly, right? I'm not interested in. I have enough problems in my life in terms of spiritual experiences that I probably, if there are entities out there, I'm sure I pissed a lot of them off, right? I don't want to battle if I don't need one, right? I had a hard time when I did cyberselling, the not the natural kind, the lab kind of cyberselling, the gas station shit last year. Now, the results were positive, but getting to that place was terrible. I mean, it took a lot of courage and strength dealing with my psychology. I mean, I could have lost my mind. So Graham Hitchcock, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. It opened your eyes. Yes, some people have had positive experiences from it, right? But it's not something you want to go buy at the supermarket, right? Entities, yeah, the entities. It reveals what is within you. Yeah, usually does, mind crawler. Your whatever substances you are doing, they do reveal what's going on in you, your psychology. Yeah, that's why it's important that you learn to be in peace, because once you get that DMT dump at the end of your life, I mean, that could be a terrifying experience. That's why you have people like near-death experience. I went to hell, and now they're all, gun-ho for the Bible and shit, right? I mean, this happens in Islam and Hinduism as well. These DMT experiences that, they come out of them after these near-death, and they're all on fire for their religion now, right? I mean, this is a common phenomenon. We had a guy on here yesterday saying that the proof of Christianity was all of the near-death experiences. That's not true. That's not proof. That is a brain chemistry experience. Yeah. Your God is Jason Bourne. That was a good series. Yeah. Jason Bourne was an excellent series. I really enjoyed it. Right. You're encouraging me to go to the ferry fort. Yes, Fiona, please. We want more videos from the ferry fort. Go and do some more. Fiona took her children to a ferry fort in Ireland, because that's where she lives. Wild Carey, Ireland. Formerly Fiona. Now Fiona the Bard, the gardener, the farmer. She has her own channel, and she took her children to the ferry fort, right? Fiona has a beautiful voice. She is if Fiona practices her narration, you will find something very substantial, right? She did this psychological video the other day, and I'm like, wow, Fiona, you have a real gift with your words. Let's see here. You've overdosed on it 9 times? Damn. I heard you definitely don't want to be in a bad headspace if you do DMT. Yeah, it's dangerous. Why take the risk, right? You never tried kava? Kava? Yeah, it's not like Katram or Kratom. No. Kava is a natural relaxation substance that is from Hawaii. It's an herb, right, that relaxes you. Yeah. I'm going to St. Faustina Relic and asking for healing. I will let you know how it goes. All right, have fun. Have fun. Yeah. As I shared with you the other day, she's no saint to me. She has led so many Roman Catholics into seeing God as a terrible torturer of mankind that is held back by the Christ, who suffers because of our sins. So really terrible and delusional. I read all of Faustina's things when I was a Catholic, and looking back on it, I'm like, what a tortured soul, living in perpetual guilt and shame, right? That's what the Catholicism likes to spread. There's nothing saintly about making yourself guilty or shameful. Yeah. Athens' theory of everything, a great reminder of the importance of psychological aspect to share with anyone. Thank you, Mindcrawler. You love kava. You found you used the kava. Yeah, I used it in the early 2000s, or was it the 90s? I can't remember. I had Cavitrol, very powerful substance that you could buy at the grocery store, or I bought it at the pharmacy. I can't remember, in the herbs and spices section, right? So awesome. Yeah, I don't like using stuff that is unnecessary. I don't want to experiment. I only use substances for my disabilities and recreational use. Yeah. The castle is in your hometown? Oh, that's interesting. Elftopia every year. Oh, that sounds like fun. Elftopia. I would say if I lived in Belgium, I would certainly go. Yeah. Let's see here. I don't like monster drinks, but Hawaiian Java Monster Kona. Yeah, I never. My kids are into the monster drinks. I don't get it. I don't find any good taste in them. Right. They're not for me. Now, the closest I've had is the Starbucks double shot energy drink, which is really not that good. Um, when they don't have the double shots, they've sold out of them. I like a straight double shot. That's it. Um, but the energy drinks are like a substitution. Was she mentally ill, Bob? She tried to find a reason suffering. Yeah. Well, her illness was her religion. It was making her see God in a terrible way, right? A very terrible way, right? Um, Someone who really experienced, in terms of the Catholic Church, would really understanding God's love. But she was kind of delusional too, because she was subject to the theology. Was Teresa of Avila, right? You could find her heart that is in Spain, that has been pierced. She had an orgasm during an encounter with God, a state of ecstasy that she describes in detail, being in this raptured state of intimacy where an angel had pierced her heart and pulling it in and out. She was describing a sexual act, right? This state of eros is something very spiritual in spirituality, right? She to me is someone one of the first books of religious literature I had was the collected works of Saint Teresa of Avila, because my spiritual father said, you remind me of her. Check out her books. So reading about her, learning about her, I'm like, wow. But she had some really crazy stuff when it comes to God and suffering, just as they all do. I mean, they're all trapped by their culture and mentality, and that's all they had, right? The idea that God is a terrible father, basically. Where am I at here? Am I satanic? What does that mean? Am I satanic? What do you mean by that? As you're coming in, friends, there's a like button. There it is. I'm going to be here when I get another down there. We have a super chat goal. We need one more, and I'll be here for another hour. If not, it'll be 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Spiritual entertainment, like and subscribe. Join our community. We have a wonderful community on Discord that is growing. We have over 100 people on there already talking about life, having a good time, so on and so forth. We play games in the evening. I'm going to play a game tonight and live stream it. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Could anyone tell me, a chap from UK, what Kool-Aid is? Kool-Aid is a sugary flavored drink it's like powder. You put it in water and it changes the color of the water, like this here. This isn't Kool-Aid, but if it was, it'd be filled with sugars. This is just water flavoring for me. It's Kool-Aid. I guess that's an American thing, right? The Kool-Aid, punchy. All right, see it. What is your favorite Beastie Boys lyric? Oh boy, Brass Monkey. One of my favorite Beastie Boys songs is Intergalactic. That is, I was just listening to it the other day. The way that they mix their music is very harmonious, right? The Beastie Boys, wonderful entertainers, right? Can you cast a single rune for me here in Nova Scotia, Canada? You want me to cast a rune for you? Well, I usually just do that for community members if they ever want. I'm not good at it, but I'll pull a rune out, see what it is today. Now let's see if it's for you or someone else. I can't guarantee. The runes have a mind of their own, right? So let's see what I pull out of the rune bag today. All right, let me see here. All right, so we have what is called. Let me see. I'm no good at naming the runes. I have my own names for them. This is what's called Gabo, right? And it's about exchange and harmony and relationship, seeking unity. So you got the Gabo rune today. Thank you, my friend. Okie dokie, we've achieved our goal of 5 super chats. I'm going to be here for another hour. Thank you, my friend. So the Gabo rune is about unity in relationships. So keep that at the forefront of your experience and the people you're dealing with. Try to achieve that unity. Relationships about exchange, about unity. It's not about taking. It's about balance and harmony of sharing an experience, right? So that's the rune for the day. You're welcome. Nidhi Castle Oflay has a druid altar. Interesting. Yeah, go take a picture for us, Fiona. Go do you some videos on it. That would be fun, right? Oh, man. So I'm going to be here another hour and 40 minutes for you. It's just like I started over again because of the generosity of our Super Chat community here. We appreciate you. What are my runes made out of? Oak. They are made out of oak. You can have the runes made out of anything. No, I didn't make them myself. I bought them from a community that makes runes from trees. I used to have a set that was made out of marble stone that was painted on, and it was really shitty. It just the runes like wore off. So I wanted something. So I invested in a burnt. They burn the rune. They use a torch or something or a laser, and burn the runes onto the oak pieces of oak. And they had all different flavors of trees. And I just chose oak, obviously, because I practice druidry. Right? Cosmos, our good friend. Good to see you. Good to have you here. And Dr. Mantis, you are late, but I'm going to be here for another hour and 40 minutes because of the generosity of our patrons here. We started talking about today. The beginning of the show was about hearing voices. And if you missed any of that, you can go to my Substack if you like to read. It's all on there about, hearing audible voices and hearing your thoughts as voices, as your voice. But when it really isn't your voice, it's just the programming, the agenda of all of the data that's been imprinted upon your consciousness, that it has your brain chemistry operates in certain ways, and how it's hard to determine, what you really are. Like people have these thoughts, right? And you think, I must be a pervert, right? Because you're thinking a certain way. That's just the way your brain is. That doesn't make you a pervert unless you're acting upon it, right? And I've noticed that these thoughts, they will punish you if you don't give them the attention that they want, right? They will try your patience, right? They will make you feel terrible. But if you persist in renewing the activity of your brain chemistry, if you continue to feed it positivity and good data, that will prevail, right? You can't help the way your brain chemistry is. You can't help the way your programming is, but you can help how you're going to participate in it, to be able to separate yourself and look at your own mind and see how it works, and to rationally walk away from yourself. And people who use psychedelics have been able to do that, right? To rationally walk away and look, why do I think that way, right? Where Kevin is here, the grandson of Gordie Howe, our resident mythicist is here. Edom is an awful symbolism for Western country. Yeah, usually racist assholes come on here and start saying shit like that. If someone said that in the chat previously, the chances that they're one of the black Hebrew Israelites, these racist religion that go around calling everyone Edomites and saying Jesus was a black man. I mean, they have no real spirituality at all. You take away the race factor, what's left? Nothing. They're a useless and pathetic religion in the world. You can usually hear them complaining on street corners and stuff. Has nothing to do with real spirituality, right? It's a terrible and wicked religion. It's no different than the Klan, right? You bumped into your mother-in-law, did you? Psychedelics are great allies for you. Yeah. Full on 100% myth, right? I needed you to know. Greetings from Uganda. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we get people all around the damn world here, right? coming here for your spiritual entertainment. At the right time and the right place, the bard shows up into your life, right? To give you that moment of laughter, to give you that encouragement, that inspiration, or to tell you to fuck off, one or the other. Whatever's needed, right? Whatever you need to hear. Don't run from mental trauma. Because of the physical trauma, it will only cause you to hurt yourself further. Yeah, the psychosomatic relationship is very intense for some people. Very, very intense, right? And it's terrible when your thoughts are punishing you. And it takes great courage to take control and be in charge of your processes. Some people aren't able to do that because of their brain chemistry, right? And that's why we have great doctors out there to help you and to heal you. What do I think of the Latter-day Saints Church? I love the new commercials. I get an erection every time I watch one, with the pretty girls selling their Bible stories. Yeah. ELP is here. Good to see you, our good friend ELP. Mrs. Goblin, she scares you when you went back indoors. Oh no. What kind of animals are we talking about? Oh, Natalie is here as well. Natalie is our wonderful Reiki master. Yeah, there she is. Good morning, Natalie. Good to have you here for your entertainment leisure. Did you know they have Bards in Space? The movie Bards in Space, of course. Yeah, that's their marketing plan. Yeah, the Mormon Church, they're using sexuality now to recruit people, right? Look at their commercials. It's all young, attractive people. If it's females, they're wearing the traditional skirts and everything. They're really marketing the sexuality. And, that's kind of a deception, right? Why can't I just be interested in what you have? Why do you have to get me an erection before I'll be interested in your religion, right? You made your runes out of deer bones? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I've heard of people making their runes out of all kinds of different materials, right? Out of bones and rocks and things like that. Yeah, I'm very happy I went with this company. This lady, she makes these runes out of woods. Let me see what it's called. Yeah, I think I have the name here. What is her name here? I'm gonna look in the light here. The Healer's Way. That's what it's called. The Healer's Way is the company that I got my runes from. And they all different trees they make runes from, and they burn the rune off. So these runes will last me forever. My first set, no. That's an interpretation. The cuneiform tablets scanned by AI. It's amazing what AI has been able to do in terms of our archaeology now. Figuring out enigmas and puzzles that we could never comprehend before, right? We are going to learn all of these secrets of our ancestors, right? Thanks to artificial intelligence, right? Oh, my Jim. My soul is attracted to what? To you? Oh, boy. I comment show hole on those commercials. Oh, my. But where's the effing nature? That's on Saturdays. Saturday mornings, I do my streams from my groves. Or Sundays. Or a random day out of the week, I do my grove streams, right? You never know what you're going to get here, right? I try to have a conversation with things that I'm good at, engaging the culture of the people through comedy and now video gaming and Dungeons and Dragons, of course, as part of my channel, for sharing my life with you. So I have all of these different things, and I know people can't appreciate that. Some people don't get my humor. I've had people think that I'm not spiritual. I've heard all kinds of shit. Some people don't like the video gaming. They think it is taking away from my druidry, right? Druidry to me is everything is spiritual. There's no dogma. It is all a path through one's creativity. The work of the bard creates a creative atmosphere that allows people to go into the experience of the ancestors of the divine, right? And that's what I do. I use all kinds of creativity here to share with people. A lot of my Druid friends, they like doing meditations all the time. That's okay, right? But that's not what I do. I use all kinds of different creativity. Yeah, you like the Star of David behind me there. See, you have the Israeli flag there. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, my friends, as you come in, right at the top of your screen. Touch it. I do this for a living. Like, subscribe, join. There's a join button down there. For the price of a cup of coffee, you could support what I do. You will have access to our Discord server. You get all kinds of cool emojis like Labubu, right? Labubu. And we already hit our chat goal, but you continue to, if you want to give me super chats, I would love that. But I will stream it. I'm streaming an extra hour today, so I'm going to be here for 90 more minutes, 3 hours to entertain you, right? To talk to you, to share with you. You know, I'm surprised I have something to say. I mean, I do this every day, right? I'm surprised I'm still able to talk to you. Adopt a bard now. Yeah. Everything is spiritual, all is one. Nature is never separate. The wisdom of Natalie, it's within you and all you do. Yeah. A lot of people like to define and keep it in certain compartments, right? You know, your creativity may not be something that speaks to other people, but it's still your creativity. It's still a part of your spiritual reality, right? It might not reach other people, but I have a certain, you know, the goddess, I believe, if you understand that concept, has brought certain types of people that otherwise wouldn't be reached by other spiritual people, right? There's a certain type of people being in the right place, being the right person, being in the right time to build that community, right? So I understand my place, and I'm not afraid to be who I am, for better or worse, with you, to share all of what I am with you. Yeah. The Mormon ads, you get Mormon ads in South Africa, right? They're trying to recruit you down there. How long have you been practicing Druidry? For a year. I am now entering the Ovite grade. I just got my first, Guasi this morning. So I just started the Ovite grade. So I've been doing it a year. Being a member of the Order of Bards, Ovites, and Druids has been very, very helpful for me in expressing myself, finding a foundation for my creativity and spirituality. You know, I was kind of lost when I left Christianity. I didn't know what to do. And Druidry helped me to have a place, a platform to reconstruct my experience upon, to help me to understand myself. It's a wonderful philosophy, right? And it has no dogma, right? Oh, let's see here. I should take a seat and relax. You think it's time to sit? I think I can do 30 more minutes of standing, right? There's something different when I sit down. There's a different connection with people when I'm standing. I don't know why, right? You do love when someone joins for the first time and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? Are you a devil? Right? Oh, you got in touch with nature. Now I'm pretty sure the tree has been following you. Oh, Solomon wrote the wisdom literature, they say. So did he worship Sophia? I think so. That was part of the first temple tradition. The second, scholarship teaches, the consensus of scholarship, that the Jewish people had a different religion before their exile. The first temple, the Solomonic temple, which was Solomon even real, is a real question. Or is he a symbol of wisdom, right? This religion was much different. It was a wisdom tradition that had an impact around the whole world, in my opinion. I think it influenced the original wisdom tradition was a universal one that continued in a unique way in that part of the world and had an influence even on the ancient Celts, right? I've done all kinds of research and I came to my own conclusions on that. Um, I think it had, but the Second Temple Judaism was a whole different beast, right? Do you mean Groot? It's not Groot. It's your cousin Boot. Oh shit. Monsters or Adam's family? Adam's family. Adam's family. Yeah. Congratulations on the promotion to the next grade. Thank you. Are you in Obed as well? Yeah, I forgot how you have a certain way of saying your name. Forgive me for forgetting it. Greg, is it Greg? You told me before, I forgot. So I apologize. You want to be a Viking druid? What? Because of your people arrived in Wales? You are from Wales as well? Yeah. Um, yeah, we have our friend Blake here. He is a Viking in a way. He's very into the Nordic tradition, and he lives in Wales, right? You would like to more about your druid side? Yeah. Druidry is, in terms of a side, it is a spirituality that has many faces throughout history. Modern Druidry has its own face. It has its own experience that has many different flavors, right? Um, Obat is one face, it's one way of doing it. There's all kinds of different ways you can practice. It really is intrinsic to your experience as a human being. Um, your ability to be the high priest of the natural, or priestess. That's how I understand it. It is an archetype. The wisdom of the salmon. Yeah. Fascinating. Adam's family for you? You don't think druids were sacrificing things? Yeah, that is all propaganda. All cultures had people that sacrificed. That doesn't mean it represents the culture. It doesn't, like the Celtic cultures, you certainly had people that sacrificed things inappropriately, obviously. But that doesn't mean it is represents the reality, right? All ancient peoples, you had peoples that did that shit. Gary, okay, Gary. Yeah, there it is. Is this the Adams family? Cousin It. Yeah, he was the best one. Yeah. Video games are human art, therefore natural technology. It's also nature created from Earth. Right. Exactly, Natalie. I remember I used to be what I call an AI fundamentalist. And AI fundamentalisms affect a lot of people in Druidry as well. And my Amakara, my soul friend, my mentor, I started complaining about AI's. He's like, AI is you. It's an extension of you, and you can make it your druid staff. It can help you to be creative, right? All of this physical stuff, the technological, is an extension of you, right? It doesn't have to be separated from you. It has its place. It's not to replace, it's to be used to create. It's not to replace the growth. It can be used to enhance the growth. Using technology has been a great way for me to bring people into my experience of the growth, right? It doesn't have to be a negative. All of our false worlds that we like making and stuff, this can be positive if you let it, right? As Natalie clearly shared with us. Sacrifice the emperor. You're a heretic, JC. You need to join the Sisters of Repentance. Yeah. I'm making your parents listen to you. You are? Oh my. Well, we all of us senior citizens need to stick together, right? Fundamentalists hate Halloween, but isn't it All Saints? Yeah. See, the fundamentalists, they gave the devil his own holiday. But it was originally a festival that was very Christianized. It has its roots in a tradition of people. It was a way the church could get the remaining pagan folk into their fold. So they made it into the spiritual day, right? You, Grove, you just did offering to the goddess Bridget last night. That is something that has helped you. Yeah. You're hoping that humans don't evolve to the point where they feel or think that taking life in any way improves theirs. Now, that has been a terrible burden, right, throughout human history, that you could see that, like in the Aztecs, right, in order for us to have stability, and we have not stopped doing it. Like I talked about Canada earlier, and that lady, that she is 80 years old and she was suffering some ailment, and the Canadian government said, well, we got some options here. How about you end your life in the gas chamber, and we will use your organs, and you're going to make society a better place. And this 80-year-old lady says, fuck you. I have a life and it's worth living. I have value and I have purpose. Now she travels around the world saying, fuck you to Canada, this old lady, saying, look, I'm living. Screw you, assholes. Right? We have this terrible mentality that about life, that this idea that in order we must kill in order for us to thrive, right? We must live. We are a species that we are unity, an organism that needs one another, right? The goblin is staying. All right. We're not leaving. Don't tell him. You want to sacrifice your sword? Well, that might be fun. Heretics are condemned sinners, strapped and exposed combat walkers, pumped with stimulants, and sent. Yeah. You look in the Warhammer universe, that's an extreme form of pretty much Christianity, right? Christianity doesn't have any value for the human person, even though it claims to. It teaches things like you will hate your parents and love the emperor, right? Stuff like that. You lose your value as a human being in it. You become enslaved to this imperial reality. Grandma's off her Percocets. Oh, shit. Mr. Manny, our good friend from the wonderful land of Arizona. Good to have you here. Always nice to see you, good friend Manny. And when you stop in to say hello to us, good to see you. We gave her an offering, a clay mug filled with milk and honey. That's a beautiful thing, right? When I get together in my Druid circle, they make an offering to the goddess as well, because most of them are pagans. I'm not a pagan. It doesn't bother me. They'll like pour out a bottle of wine during the ritual and stuff like that, or honey and other things. It's a beautiful ritual to honor maternity, right? Close the windows. You're letting the stank out? Oh, shit. You got to watch that, Dr. Mantis. You got to watch that, right? All right, now I'm going to sit down for the next hour and 20 minutes. My standing ability has reached its conclusion. You have voices in your head, but at least you'll never be lonely, Duke of New York. Yeah. We that was a big conversation that we had at the beginning of the show here about what's going on here. Is it who is talking? Now, I've heard audible voices, and when you're able to understand, when it's audible to you, you can know that it's not you. You can make a judgment and say, well, that's not beneficial to me, or that voice is actually something that is not good, right? The real terrible thoughts are the ones that masquerade in terms of voice as your voice. Well, what's going on in your head? And it's hard to many people to understand that that voice is not you. It is programming. It masquerades as you must do this, you must be this, you must think this way, right? And you get confused. People get confused and lost in their thoughts, like they think they're perverts or violent, or that there's something wrong with them. And many people live this way in a perpetual state of being afraid of themselves. I remember suffering from this when I was younger. I was afraid I would lose control of my mind and end up being a terrible person. And I was like, if I came to that, I would blow my brains out. That's what I said to myself. Like, if these thoughts are real, if this experience is real, then I have the obligation to end my life. And I didn't want to do that, obviously, right? But this is what I didn't want to hurt people. So you can reason with this thought process. You could step away from it and judge it as not yourself, looking at it as, yeah, Slanish. It's Slanish whispering in your ear. Slanish trying to get you. We have in our history, like you see it in the cartoons, the devil and the angel on your shoulder, right? This is the psychological foundation, right, for good and bad thoughts, that it's God or a devil, right? It's not a God or a devil. It's a process that is very natural, that takes place in your head, that sometimes is very terrifying for people. It leads to unhealth. And what's healthy is being able to step away from it and recognize that you don't have to be defined by it. You don't have to be controlled, that you can speak to your own thought processes. That's like a voice to you, and say, no, fuck you. I'm not going to think that way. I'm not going to do that. Most of the time, it's like you got a visitor that's hanging out with you. It's annoying the shit out of you. Eventually, the visitor is going to leave if you don't give it the attention, right? If you just recognize it as, oh, you're just hanging out here. How you doing? I don't give a shit, right? I'm not interested, right? And using, for me, religion has been a helpful guide in doing that over the years, right? Children are not sounding words out anymore, reading out loud. Some education systems don't think it's necessary. Really. Now, one of my sons can't read, but he's obligated by the school system to do this curriculum that's for him. So what he does is, dear AI, read all of this stuff to me and give me the answers. That's what I heard him downstairs telling his computer that, because he has to do this electronic schooling. And he really can't. He can read a few words. That's about it, right? He can read a few words. Slanish is a heretic. He is an accident created by the Eldari and their terrible desires for pleasure, right? You are very glad you found this channel in hard times, Fiona. Well, I'm glad that you've stood by my side for over a year. You've been here, right? We appreciate you being with us, Fiona. You wish you had dealt with trauma like earlier people. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, there's a right time and right place for everything, right? I wish I would have known what I know now earlier on. It would have been made life much easier, but no one was teaching me how to deal with the voice in here, right? You believe God is divinely inspired. I don't agree with everything, but there's a lot of wisdom there, perhaps expressed for years. Thank you, Fiona. I know you don't agree with my OnlyFans page, but that's for other people and their pleasure. Real life experience, like priests who are locked away years preaching with no life experience. Yeah, that's a problem with a lot of clergy, is that they have, like, the idea that you can go to your priest to get family advice who's been celibate all his whole life. That is ridiculous. I remember I was a deacon, and I would have this contention. I'm like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But he was jealous of me. He was jealous of the experience that I had. He had forbidden me to talk about theology with people and the parishioners because they would come to me, right? Because I had the life experience. He has been locked away in his little celibate lifestyle his whole life. And he had no experience telling people anything, but he was jealous, right? But I had to be obedient and follow his lead. You'll learn to read and play Final Fantasy 8. And do you want to know what they're saying? Yeah. It's Final Fantasy 1 for me. Can you define your life in one word? Yeah, that's quite a challenge. Defining one's life in one word. Loved. Looking back at myself now, knowing I've been loved. Loved is the word. Being loved has helped me to be who I am today. And that is based in my religion, obviously. Hearing God's voice, feeling God's presence every day. That has helped me to be who I am. Let's see here. The bard is humble, unlike other Titans that claim to be no fellowship. Yeah, I am not perfect, obviously. I do make mistakes. I can be wrong. I'm really just having a conversation with people, right? And I don't mind if you tell me I'm wrong, right? I will listen to you. I want to be better. I want to be better. A wren which is singing from your window. I just read that wrens are known as druid birds. Interesting, yeah. That's a big bird over in Wales, right? The wren. Jealousy is the devil, and other people's jealousy just about killed you. I'm sorry that you had that experience. That's terrible that you had that experience. I'm sorry that you went through that. Shitbot, what are you saying now really speaks to you? Well, you've been prepped for it, right? The other day when you made a comment, this is how synchronicity works. It builds you up for the grand finale, right? That's because you're important. It's not me speaking to you, really. It's, the universe preparing you for greater things, right? I just get to have fun and be a part of the experience, right? Let's see. The irony is that if you are allowed to preach, you would have huge numbers, as we could see. Yeah, when I was doing my preaching in the church, it was censored. I was supposed to hand in my homilies to make sure everything was safe, because they were afraid of what I would say. They were afraid that I would take the attention away from them. They were afraid that I would take away, and it wasn't about me. It wasn't supposed to be about me. This is supposed to be helping people. Who gives a shit who's doing it, right? But that's the kind of environment I worked in, right? It was embarrassing. All of the other clergymen that I went to seminary with, they didn't have to hand their homilies in. I did, right? And it wasn't because I wasn't educated. I went to all kinds of theological schools for like 10 years, right? You got bluebirds in your backyards? Beautiful. Beautiful. You call it grinder finale. Oh, you hand feed the deer and turkeys in your backyard. What a wonderful experience. The animals in my backyard, they are afraid of humans, except for the raccoons. The raccoons will come up and take the food from your hand. But the other ones, they're too scared. We got wild rabbits behind me as well. ELP. You got the wonderful imperial symbol out. Now, I don't know what I'm going to be playing tonight for our game. If anyone has something they want to play with me, or you want me to stream, we'll work on that. Yesterday, I was doing Warhammer 40K lore, playing Rogue Trader, and that's going to take me forever to get through. I'm talking about a few years, right? Because 50% of the game is reading. I know it's entertainment, Bob, but you have the thing that people feel like they can open up to you. Yeah, and hope it doesn't bother. Oh, not at all. That's why I'm here, right? Not at all. I enjoy opening myself up to people. I have a lot to share, a lot to give, right? That is my purpose. I understand it. Looking back at my life, like, why? Now I know why. Now I know why, right? This is the final hurrah, right? They were scared because you have a free mind, probably. Yeah. I have 2 10-point bucks. Oh, beautiful. And a few fawns. That's beautiful. You just looked it up because you rarely see wrens over in Texas. It was an amazing experience. Quite a song. He sung beautiful, beautiful. You want to do Dark Tide tonight? Is that what you want to do? ELP? Um, yeah, that would be UK time. Would be 9:30 UK time. It's about when I get on. I don't know if you're home from work about then. Zerg wants to join us for Dark Tide. You want to join us for Dark Tide? Being educated doesn't correlate to IQ. Just saying, I know plenty of educated. Oh, certainly, certainly, yeah. But I wasn't an idiot. They knew I was educated, and still they demanded that I turn in my homilies for proper approval before I say them, because they were afraid of me taking away the tension from them. Right. I remember one time I gave a retreat because I was asked to, and that led to all kinds of jealousy. Right. The people demanded I do the retreat, and they couldn't say no, and it had to do with Eastern Christian spirituality, and the person that was in charge didn't know shit about it, so they were quite jealous and offended that I was asked to do this, and they did their best to try to control it. If you like 100% bot, all right, we'll do that. It'll be 4:30 for me, Dark Tide tonight. For your entertainment leisure, Dark Tide tonight. Your rabbits and turtle are beautiful. Thank you, Kim. You like my rabbits? Yeah, my rabbit videos are my bread and butter now for my channel. People love those rabbits. I was surprised the one I put out. No one watches my other videos, damn it. It's only the rabbits, right? My rabbits. No more hell divers. I suck at it. All the up, down, down, left, right. I left that back when I played Contra, right? Contra was a game where you use the Konami code. That's what Helldivers. My son loves Helldivers. He really enjoys it. Give the heart to the goddess. Filter, she's the Celtic goddess of the hunt, and you take a bite out of it. Yeah. Well, that's a good devotion that you have. Yeah, I'll go grab the tortoise. You want to see the tortoise? I'll go get her. I will go get Madam Tortoise for you. My tortoise people have required your presence. They have required your experience. Madam Tortoise. Yeah, we want to see you. Glorious God. Oh, you're nice and warm. Oh, my tortoise. My tortoise, you don't want to be out of your heat, lamb? Look at that. You see her? Look at that. There she is. Let me try to get her. Yeah. There we are. There you are. All this green screen's messing you up. See, there she is. For your entertainment leisure, the tortoise. Oh, she's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for the pets. Oh, I loved it. Look at that beak. Oh, my goodness. Madam Tortoise, for your entertainment leisure, my friends. Spiritual entertainment. There she is. All right. Back to your heat lamp. Back to your heat lamp you go. Don't forget, my friends, as you're coming in, hit the like button at the top of your screen. Spiritual entertainment. 7 days a week I am here for your entertainment leisure. Hopefully the music's not too loud. Animals always deserve human names. Oh, well, I call mine my tortoise. And my rabbits are Mr. and Mrs. Bunny. Very original, right? How old is Madam Tortoise? I'm guessing 6. I'm guessing 6. We don't know. We got her in captivity at the pet store. Everyone loves the tortoise, right? She created the universe. We all ride on her divine back. We make our stand. for the tortoise, right? You'd get the hang of Helldivers in no time, Bart, when you bring the same weapons and airstrikes every. Yeah, it's not a terrible game. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I didn't find really a connection with it. Yeah. Madame Tortoise thinks, yeah. Turtles all the way down, my friends, right? Doto solar, you are intellectually satisfied. When you gaze upon the tortoise, you find the ultimate value. The Turtle Island, there you go, Turtle Island. Your tortoise ran away many years. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, we almost lost her before because she likes digging holes, and I had her out in the backyard doing yard work, and my son was supposed to be watching her, and he had taken her eyes off her, and she dug a hole in the corner. We're all looking around for about maybe 30 minutes, and then we found her. She was right next to the door. She had dug a hole down deep where no one could find her, right? Who is your favorite ninja tortoise? Oh, well, let's see. Donatello, maybe? Donatello, because I have a walking stick, right? Yeah, you got Raphael, he's mad. Everyone likes Michelangelo. Let's see. Who's the first one? Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo. Leonardo's always the one in charge, right? He's always having an existential crisis, right? Thank you, Cool Man. Thank you for stopping in, our friend. We appreciate you stopping in and dropping your like. Appreciate you very much. As you're coming in, friends, like and subscribe for your entertainment leisure. Right at the top of your screen. We got another hour together, my friends, of spiritual entertainment for your entertainment leisure. We started talking today about hearing voices. You know, I've heard voices, and the most terrible voice sometimes has been my own, in my own head, rather than, like I've heard terrible entities mocking me or whatever. I remember one of the most terrible experiences I had was my friend, he must have lived in a haunted house. I remember waking up to, I'm like, oh shit, it scared the shit out of me. It was a mocking and terrible laugh that I heard. I'll never forget it. But I could tell that it's not me, right? And you could say, that's not me. But what goes on in here, the voice in here, you think it is you, your thought processes, right? And that can be a very terrible experience for some people. Your favorite game was Gauntlet Legends. Now that was an improvement, right? Gauntlet Legends was the Super Nintendo, right? Or the arcade version. The original Gauntlet. I remember I had a moment, I think I was 6th grade, 7th grade. I got to level 99 in Gauntlet. And unfortunately, something didn't work out. The game crashed or something. So I went and smashed my Nintendo. I was so mad because I spent you have the game rage. You know, game rage starts young. I broke my Nintendo because I Gauntlet level 99. Failed. I was almost there. I spent all of that time and effort. Gauntlet was difficult. Yeah, Gauntlet was a difficult game. And it was fun because you could do like 4 different. You had the barbarian, the wizard, the thief. Was it just 3? Wasn't there another one? The barbarian, wizard, the thief. I think there was another one. The archer, right? Gauntlet was here. Repetitive thoughts are horrible. It's so hard to move past the words from people's mouth. Yeah, it's very annoying too because it keeps it's a chemical process that it repeats the pattern over and over again, right? In understanding that pattern, you can't get rid of your thoughts. The repetitive thoughts are a nuisance. You can't. It's how you deal with them that takes away their power. The repetitive thought. Like people often deal with a repetitive, inappropriate thought, right? And you don't like it. And its purpose is to convince you to perform the behavior or feel shameful. And how you deal with such inappropriateness is real simple. Big deal. I don't care, right? What has helped me is to be able to know that God sees the thought as well. And it's like God's like, I don't care. I'm still here. No big deal. So you got a perverted brain. Big deal. I don't care. To know that God is not going to separate. Well, Christianity makes, unfortunately, psychological health quite impossible because you have a God that will separate itself from you by the very act of thinking. That's an unfortunate reality. You have to go confess your thoughts to the priest, for instance. I mean, that is a terrible thing, right? Powerful people are the ones who attack. You can barely remember the game. You had Ethatho. I don't remember Ethatho. Eminem and the Witch. Yeah. I really hope that Eminem has grown up because he has daughters now, right? He has a daughter who got married a couple of years ago, right? Sometimes we make terrible, shitty decisions when we're young. And the way that he treated ladies was terrible, right? Especially that one other female singer, right? That really was harmed deeply by him. But she took that pain and made it powerful. I forgot. You are beautiful. That's what you are. That lady. What was the name of that lady that he really tried to destroy her with his words, right? I forgot what her name is. But I hope he has grown up, right? Because we make terrible decisions when we're young, especially when he had a serious drug problem that he was able to get over, right? So I hope that he was able to grow up and to realize, that was not good to treat females that way, right? It's up to you. How do you handle? That's right. Dark legacy will speak. Yeah. Pope means father. Pope is your taskmaster. Yeah. You just did 23 push-ups with your wiener. Yeah. Oh, Mountain Man. Christina Aguilera. Yeah. A lot of her music came out of that terrible experience that she had. Everyone was ripping her down and destroying her because of what happened with the Eminem thing, right? And she made the most beautiful music ever, right? Just thinking about that song about beautiful, right? That was so powerful. Every time just thinking about that song brings tears to your eyes, right? Yeah, very, very powerful music that she brought out of that painful experience, all of that hatred. People commit suicide when you have a whole society against you, right? No, you have this terrible reputation, right? It's like the worst high school situation, right? When the whole high school thinks you're terrible, you don't want to live anymore. But instead, she took this terrible moment and become great. And she deserves an apology if one is not given, right? I hope he grew up, all right? Because he has daughters now, right? People make terrible choices when they're doing drugs and are young, right? You just had a peanut butter and milk and a porch. On your porch, good morning. You got the mustache milk, Mr. Vision. You had a good and loving home that wasn't raised the same and thrived and hurting people. I'm sorry you had to experience that. That's a terrible thing, right? You have become pollo, the chicken. You like pollo? Yeah. Pollo a la brosa for me. Yeah. Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes wrote the song for Christina, and she put her all of her heart and presence into that beautiful song. Right? All of her experience really began to make sense, right? Yeah, Linda Perry, she was the one. Her song became popular. Why? Because she's talking about getting high. Did they have any other good songs? I don't remember. You got to play guitar and listen to heavy metal to be able to? Yeah. Is that maybe what Faustina is about? Faustina is about being manipulated. Saint Faustina had a terrible and evil religion that where God was separated and we made Jesus suffer. The suffering for the sake of your sorrowful passion, have mercy. It's all a scam. It's called piety, but it's really control. It's an evil, evil thing. The same thing with the rosary. The rosary is a terrible prayer that I would pray every day that separated me from God. It made someone close to God for me, the Virgin Mary. But I'm just a poor sinner who needs to be saved from hellfire, right? This is a terrible and evil thing that I participated because I didn't know any better, right? Now, God doesn't care. None of that stuff keeps God. He's like, oh, big deal, I'm still here. I still love you, right? The Shining was a great film. Oh, yes, it was, right? That's not a good voice. Yeah. The Lady Linda is inspiring. Yeah. What's Up to This Day? You listen to it? Yeah, that's a good, powerful song, right? Subscribe, like and subscribe, my friends. Spiritual entertainment, comedy and spirituality together. And tonight we're going to serve the Emperor by playing a wonderful game called Dark Tide. We can fit a few players in there. It's 4 players. We had a lot of fun with that game. And certainly our friend ELP, he loves the Ogrins very, very much. Whenever he gets a chance, he expresses his love for the Ogrins. Yeah. You've got to think about this piety thing. Yeah. It's a great challenge. Once you're involved in a practice for many, many years, like the Rosary for me, recognizing that it's not a good prayer, even though it's been presented as such, as this is what you need to do. But if you follow the pattern of the prayers, what they are doing, they're saying that God is far away from you and that you need help to get to God. You need a mediator like Jesus or the Virgin Mary, so on and so forth. And you are the problem, not God. The reason why it's gaslighting, right? The reason why God is separate, it's your fault, right? It's your fault. Now you need to explain yourself, right? It's not God. Christianity makes God far away. The Abrahamic religions, God is not close to you. Now they'll say he's close to you, but you have to jump through the hoops to get to him, right? I mean, it's a terrible, terrible religion. Used to be Bewitched the other day. Oh, remember that great TV show, Bewitched? Remember the Christians say that it's demonic as well. You can't even watch I Dream of Jeannie either. That's the occult. I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched were like on right after one after another in my childhood as reruns, obviously. But those were good shows, very healthy, very family friendly, but they are the devil, right? Hey, what's going on? You know the song. What do you think about the Rosicrucians? I think they were. What happened with Christianity is during the Enlightenment, God became an astronaut, and people like the Rosicrucians were no, God is here, right? That's what I think about the Rosicrucians. God is still in our religion here. It's not in space, right? I don't know much about Rosicrucianism, but how I've instructed about it. It was a way. A lot of these movements in like the 1800s, the stepchildren of the church, really, they wanted to have a spiritual experience, right? They didn't want to wait till they died to have one. So you have a lot of these movements in like the 1800s, early 1900s, what brought God here, right? We had a Rosicrucian that used to come on our show here like a year ago, right? You are listening to the Irish Girl Group. Oh, look at that. Hey, what's going on, right? I have to go to work. Take care, Greg. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Or Gary, I'm sorry. Gary. Bewitched and I Dream of Genies awaken your talent for love for witchcraft and the occult. Yeah, me too. It all began. We all loved, the witch and the genie lady, right? We're all in love with her, and that led to our practice of the occult arts, right? Sabrina was satanic too. Yeah, that's demonic. It's demonic. Yeah, yeah. What is fascinating with the label everything as? Yeah. We stay stronger together. Yes, all of our diabolical realities, all of our experiences with the occult arts. Yeah. Silly girls. Fiona is going to be going to do some more Fairy Fort streams with us. Live from the Fairy Fort. That would be fun, Fiona. Do a live stream. Do you have 50 members yet, Fiona, on your channel? Live from the Fairy Fort would be fun, right? In the future. I don't know where you're at in terms of, YouTube has these silly policies like you have to have 50 members, and then they'll make you wait a month, and then you can do live streams, right? You got to get the glasses. Yeah. Wild Carrie Ireland is Fiona's channel. She does a lot of stuff from her farm, right? A lot of stuff from her farm. Your son gets Game Graves. You place it one Smash controller. Yeah, I think none of my kids have inherited my game rage, thankfully. Like I've had kids bang on the computer table and break the computer, but they've never broken their controllers. I am the only person who has done that, and I've always had to replace them. You just found out they never actually burned anyone at the stake in the Salem witch trials. Kind of bummed about that. Well, that's not what I was told. What information is that? The burning of the witches. What did they do to them? This is an interesting topic, right? Because people were certainly being burned, especially like the advent of Protestantism. Just being a Catholic female could get you accused of witchcraft, right? Big time in Europe, especially in Germany, the witch burnings. Thousands of ladies being burnt up for just being healers and things. Nothing to do with like real witchcraft. Witchcraft in terms of books and things. The occult books, all of the clergy were the ones who had all the books. Like modern, normal people in the world, they didn't have access to the arcane tablets and things like that. These things were all in churches, right? Your first love taught you love was pain and pain was love at 16. So wrong. So I didn't know anything else until you were 30. And she left you with the horrible understanding of how to treat yourself. I'm sorry you had to experience that. Yeah, that is not what love is about, right? Unfortunately, there's people that don't know how to love, right? For whatever reason, right? And not everyone is able to experience authentic love, right? And that's unfortunate in our world, right? That people are being hurt in relationships, right? Terrible trauma people experience from how other people treat you, right? Yeah, I'm convinced of the love of my wife. I mean, it really is a gift that I've been given. I mean, we worship one another, right? And it took a while to get there, right? We've always had a good relationship, right? But this idea of worship, of self-giving, it really come out of maturity in our old age, right? Mobile Strike gave you the most reach. Is Mobile Strike a phone game? Were you throwing your phone down on the ground? Damn it! EOS Farron, good to see you. Freemasons hoarded much of is now open source. Yeah, the Masons preserved, I think, rather than hoarded. Because you have to understand that Freemasonry had a great enemy, which was the Catholic Church. And they wanted to preserve these traditions and the history that was being erased. The church erased a lot of history. That's why we're just learning about the Gnostics, right, in the last 50 years, stuff like that, because they got rid of all of their opposition. So the Masons, they don't have to live in fear anymore, right? So there's a lot of things that are available that once weren't available. So that is the context of hoarding the knowledge. They did so to protect it, right? The idea of secrets in Masonry, as our Mason friend, Why Not, has told us, is about intimacy. Now, I'm in order of Druids. We have our secrets, but they are secrets of intimacy rather than, arcane mysteries that we must keep from the rest of humanity, right? It's about intimacy rather than um, this way of thinking that you're considering. Oh my. Going to be with you another 40 minutes, my friends. Don't forget to hit the like button at the top of your screen. At the pentacle, at its peak there's the like button. Give it a touch. Give it a touch, right? Oh my, where are we at here? Oh, let's see. The Catholics killed off the Cathars and the Gnostics. Yeah, they murdered people who opposed their religion, right? The Inquisition, right? They would torture you, right? And they would still get away with it if they could. They had all of the theological justification, like Saint Augustine. I mean, why call him a saint? He gave manuals on how to torture people, basically, right? I mean, he's no saint. He's a terrible person. The Catholics killed all kinds of people, right? And they certainly would get away with it. Christians today want to murder me. I've had people threaten me that are Christian, right? They want to do me harm, that want to defame me, right? We've talked about it before. We've seen it on here. Some of you have seen it on here, right? You are lucky about it. I swear this country raising narcissists. Well, you have to prostate exam. That relationship came out of much pain that I was giving people in the world. I was terrible at relationships. I used people. I was not a saint, right? And other people were terrible to me. And I had to be healed in order for myself to love properly, right? So there are lots of pain I experienced. But fortunately, I found the right person in my younger years where we can grow and heal together and learn how to love one another unconditionally, right? You have a feeling the type of shit is going to be tried again. Yeah. There's always a chance when you love someone that they're not going to love you back, right? There's always a chance of that, right? They will not hurt my bard. Point them out immediately. Yeah. Yeah, we've had some terrible people on here who have threatened my life, right? That are Christian. Right? That people are cuckoo for Christ, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, cuckoo for Christ. Yeah. I got my backyard. I'm well protected, right? I'm well protected. I don't live in fear. I have plenty of weaponry around my home to keep me safe, right? History has a history of repetition. Yeah. No one is a saint, right? How can they say that Christians act so unchrist? Yeah, I don't get it. How could you turn to violence, knowing that that's against what he stood for, right? They make excuses and justify with their theological manuals, right? Why they can hurt somebody else in the name of their God, right? We see this. The Abrahamic religions are terrible about this. They have instructions on how to murder people in their book. And they're like, this is a God of love, right? Yeah, so people are stupid, right? Muslims are trying to catch. They're trying. It's Christianity 2.0, right? Oh man, it happens. I'm used to be not being accepted, right? Well, all that matters is that you accept yourself, right? If someone doesn't want to accept you, that's their problem, not yours, right? There's always going to be someone who doesn't like you. If you're relying on other people for affirmation, you're going to be quite disappointed in life, right? There's always going to be someone who's going to be talking bad about you, who thinks ill of you, that wants to harm you, right? It's really you come into this world and you end this world the same way, with you, right? And it's very important. I was speaking to one of my people in my Dungeons and Dragons game. They want to get into writing. Like, what do people want? I'm like, it doesn't matter what they want. It's what you want. You're not going to have any creativity at all if you're trying to please other people. Your creativity is about what you like, what makes you thrive, what brings joy to you. You don't write for other people, write for yourself. That's the best way you can write a book, right? You build subwoofers for a living. Interesting. Subwoofers were a lot of fun for me as a teenager, having all those speakers and things in your cars. So some people are still into that. It made me go deaf. Having all that shit when I was in my friends' cars, a bit loud music. It made me lose some of my hearing, unfortunately. Right? Oh, let's see. I have to be very careful, respect my neighbors. Have been people buried there, really. So when you're doing your videos, you're trying to be respectful of the dead. Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Fiona, there's a lot of dead people where you live that you don't know about yet, right? Probably on your own land. You'll find a graveyard buried below your farm there, right? That happens all the time. Like, I have a friend who has property up in Scotland. He's got burial mounds that he's found out behind his house, right? That all over the UK there's all kinds of graveyards yet to be discovered, right? Where am I at here? Self-awareness, very important, yeah. Oh my word, he's doing a live, Fiona. We live, oh yeah, Clarion does these cool lives where he has the bird feeder. Yeah, those are always fun, yeah. Attachment is suffering. Yeah, that's a truth, right? Why is it? Now, attachment isn't bad. It's the suffering doesn't have to be a bad guy, right? I'm attached to my wife. When I'm not with her, I suffer. That's good. That's not bad. It's what you're being attached to. Now, if you're attached to, I can't wait to get that brand new job and then I'll be happy, you're suffering pointlessly. Suffering is not a bad thing when it has a context and purpose, right? Let's see here. Where you're building a drop replacement kits. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Thank you. 1,000 wrens give a voice frequency. Beautiful. Speaking of birds, we have what's called a swamp swallow. I shared a while ago. They look like tornadoes, and they go above your house and they move. And this one time I thought it was the end of the world. I come outside, the sky is dark above and these birds everyone's coming outside, looking at these birds flying back and forth. All these beautiful patterns. It was so beautiful. My daughter captured one and I made it into a YouTube short, and I put like tornado warning music to it, because it looked like a tornado of birds. It was quite interesting, right? Well, the beauty of the birds and what they can do in their rhythm. Yeah. You want to be buried the normal way, yeah, like a regular dead being. Yeah. That's my ideal of a burial. Yeah. Great fertilizer for a tree. Exactly. See, the Killians and the forts are not to be touched. It's bad luck. Why is it bad luck? Right? What is going? See, for me, If I were to go to the land of my ancestors, it would be to honor, not to fear. I would go to these places and I would touch, I would feel as a way to know, to experience. I think a lot of fear is a way in history to protect, to preserve, but it is unnecessary. I don't think you need to be afraid of the fairy folk. All of these terrible taboos. When you have, if these are spiritual beings, they should be able to see into your heart and to know that you are a person of devotion, of honor, of respect, right? That should be an invitation, right? A lot of this, fairy folk taboo is just like, to me, it is like the Tower of Babel, the gate of God, the forbidden entranceway. It wasn't wrong for them to build the Tower of Babel. It's how they were doing it. So when I think of fairy forts, I'm thinking of there were some people doing some things that were right to do, but the way they were doing it was inappropriate. And so you have these guardians. You have the cherubim at the gate with the fiery sword. All of these myths are to protect from what? Our inappropriate ambitions and desires. So when I go to Ireland, I'm going to go to these places and I'm going to touch, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to feel. I'm not going to be afraid. And I hope they would understand that, I am the Fool card, by the way, right? The tarot card. It's fear, more respect, yeah. It was some of our ancestors, they got a little carried away with the fairy fears. To the point of, really developing psychosis. There's a lot of history, terrible experiences in Ireland of people being so afraid that they've done terrible things, right? Because of fear of fairies, right? It's what's wrong with us where the attachment is neurosis. Attachment is a natural thing. It isn't a neurological disorder, right? It's what you're taught to do. It's not your fault. The idea of inappropriate attachment. It's just how you've been trained. When you're able to see that you don't have to do that to be happy, when you learn that you're creating your own suffering, basically. But suffering itself is not a bad thing. It's really the context for it. Your grandmother still borns that are buried in Killian. It's not fear the priests would bury them because they were not baptized. Yeah, that is a terrible and evil thing that somehow you are disqualified if you're not baptized. That is control that the church imposes on you. Forever, the Catholic Church, you're fucked if you're not baptized, right? Because the Bible teaches that. The Bible says if you are not baptized, you are condemned, right? This is a wicked and evil teaching. Baptism is a beautiful symbolic reality, just like any other ritual, but it doesn't disqualify you if you don't participate in these rituals from any good thing, right? I am gay. Yes, it's Tuesday. Yeah. The journeyman, right? The Fool card is the gentle-hearted adventurer that is willing to step off the cliff when he sees opportunity that might be beneficial and good and wonderful. Is willing to explore, and sometimes it doesn't work out. So you're a fool for what you have done, right? Is it good that people stay away and don't plow? I think so. I think you shouldn't. These are sacred places. You shouldn't be carving them up, right? At the same time, if you're starving, should you not use, or for instance, if you're in a situation where you're going to die if you don't take the Eucharistic altar from the church and use it as firewood, you're going to die. You are now putting that place as more important than you. What do you think God would have you to do? Would he have you die rather than use that wood, right? There's a deranged mentality that we get, that we see places as more important than us. The place is for you. The place is for you, right? And we should try to preserve the memories of those places, but not at the cost of our humanity. Um, Fool is awakening, rebirth, beginning a journey, open new experience and ideas. Thank you. Natalie is our expert at the oracles and the tarot and the Reiki on the channel. Yeah. You get back to work, EOS. Good to have you here, friend. We're going to be here, what? We have another 25 minutes, my friends. Thanks to the good graces of our patrons and hitting our super chat goal. We are in the bonus hour of the spiritual entertainment here, having these wonderful conversations. We've been doing this for a year. I mean, talking every day for a whole year. Isn't that something? Untouched for years, Fiodia. Power top bears? What's that mean? Unless you're free of thought, the whole thing is suffering. What does that mean? Because I can't be free of my thoughts. It's understanding your thoughts that helps alleviate your suffering, right? You can't be free from your thoughts. There's no way to turn your brain off, right? It's how you choose to think, right? We like everything. That's right, Dixon. Yeah, take care, EOS. Thank you for being a part of it. You are our expert, Natalie. Natalie is our official expert. Maybe you're not internationally an expert, but you are designated our expert here on our channel. The battle sisters Repentia are permanently sealed inside an armored sarcophagi. What a wonderful war machine material, right? Yeah, we were talking about the battle sisters yesterday when we were doing our Rogue Trader stream, that some of them fall in some type of weakness or trial, and instead of using armor, they just wear robes, right? Beautiful tradition. Use drugs to become one. Do I wear any watches? I don't wear any jewelry. I don't wear any watches. I don't wear a wedding ring. I do wear a triskelion. I started wearing this a year ago, trying to get in touch with my new life here as a heathen and to honor my ancestors. So I've never taken it off. I've wore this for a whole year, just as a way to honor my ancestors. But I usually don't wear any jewelry. I had a wedding ring, but I lost it. Like, I don't know how many years ago. My wife's always talking about getting me a new one. I don't care for a wedding ring. If she wants to get me one, I'll wear it, right? But I'm not a big jewelry person. It's distracting to me. When I wear jewelry, it distracts me. That's just my mentality. But not this. My necklace doesn't distract me at all. It did in the beginning, right? But now it's no big deal. You are chafing. What are you doing, Carl? Damn it. You getting all excited, are you? Yeah. Imagination time. Go back from the store, getting a peace puff for you all. Thank you, Rich. You got the reefer all fired up for us. We appreciate you. Don't forget, hit the like button as you come in, right there. Right there, hit it. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week. I am here talking to you every morning. Like and subscribe. I'm always going to be here. As long as people go to the join button, buy me coffee, I will be here every day for you. Whatever you want to talk about, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, right? We've been very graceful. For the past hour or so, no fundamentalists. Isn't that nice? Now that I mentioned that, you'll see one sneak in here, right? But we've been very fortunate to talk about other things, right? They usually come in and they just dominate, right? The conversations, right? We have to talk to them because some of them wake up, right? We've had people like yesterday. Some of you remember Kateri was a big-time fundamentalist. Now comes on and says hello. Right? Isn't that nice? Kateri was on a video game stream last night, comes in and says hello, right? They have, it's amazing that we've had many people that are fundamentalists that are here now because they like being here. They're still stuck in their fundamentalism. There's no doubt about it. But they are able to listen. Now that's a miracle, right? When you can get into their heads and be that alternative voice that says, I think you're not making the right choice, right? To be able to be that voice that helps them to think differently, to think critically, right? There's our Pokemon master, Yumi Luna Rose. Our wonderful Pokemon master is here. Good to have you here for your entertainment leisure in the morning. Did I play World of Warships? I have. I don't like it. It's boring to me. There was another one that was like it as well. I forgot. It was one with the tanks. World of Tanks. I played that one. It's kind of boring. Yeah. Mech Warrior. The Mech Warrior Online. I was a beta tester for that one. I mean, what was that? 20 years ago? That was kind of boring. I liked the Mech Warrior games when I was younger. They were a lot of fun, right? I played the last one about 5 years ago. It's on Xbox, or I have it on Steam. Someone had given it. It was a lot of fun. You have to have a certain taste for that type of game, right? Tonight we're going to be playing Dark Tide, Warhammer 40K at 4:35 around there, Eastern Standard Time. Whenever I get home from picking up the kids from school, that will be the game for tonight. As you all know, I love it. I get really into it. I usually dress up as a space wizard, right? I'm going to have to get a new mask or a new wizard. It's getting all worn out, right? It's falling apart. This is my second time I've had to get a wizard gear, right? I might try to do it without it tonight to see how that works out. But people love the wizard, right? This has been a beautiful morning. It all started, right, with all of this goodness that we shared, right? The experience of the Wren, as Natalie had brought to us today, right? To be able to share that harmony, the beauty of the Wren, that voice, that peace of the Druidic tradition, right? Ace's high World War II fighter planes. My favorite World War II fighter plane game was on AOL. You remember AOL? They had some interesting games, and they had one where you could be in a flying fortress, a B-52, whatever they called, and you could be the individual fighter planes, and you'd go over you'd have to take off. So if you went over, you could bomb the shit out of the airport, and you pretty much won, right? That was on AOL. AOL had some interesting games on it. They had the first Neverwinter Nights online game, right? Has anyone enjoyed Neverwinter Nights? It really isn't as fun as it. I was a beta tester for that. Not the one on AOL, but the other one that came out like 10 years later. And it's really just a cash machine now. AOL had the first Neverwinter Nights, and the Neverwinter, it's called Neverwinter now, right? It's a huge cash grab, right? Because they got so much stuff for you to buy. What really pisses me off about these games that I wouldn't have any problem buying a subscription to it to play it. No big deal. But they'll punish you if you don't participate on deeper levels. Like you'll get all these annoying advertisements and shit in the game. I mean, that annoys the shit out of me, right? Having to buy my armor and stuff with real money. I mean, that's annoying to me. Yeah, I liked it when it was subscription-based. Neverwinter is when I first. There's a good story there in the Neverwinter. Yeah, tonight, UK time, 9:30. UK time. Eastern Standard Time is my time, which is 4:30 for our Dark Tide game. God loves us. Thank you, Ashlyn. Thank you. Yeah. You remember playing it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you. Yes. You're going to save our souls today, right? There, we just were talking about Kateri. Look, Kateri, we were just talking about you. Look at that. Don't you love synchronicity? I was telling people, Kateri, how you used to come on here and try to convert us, and now you come on and say hello, right? Uh, isn't that neat, right? Isn't that neat when that happens, right? I didn't expect for her to be, or he, or her, whatever you are. Kateri to me is a Native American saint, right? Kateri Takaweatha was a Roman Catholic saint, right? I don't know if that's your name or not. Let's see. And then Elderine Oldenson is here. Good to see you. Good to have you here. The Reckoning, Reckon Fist MMO ever made for cell phones was Shade. The Reckoning First. Yeah. Endertide. Yeah. Yeah. We love you, Kateri. Yeah. Coincidence. Synchronicity. We have some strange synchronicities that happen here all the time as we're talking, right? Some of you have seen it happen over and over again. These fun synchronicities that happen, right? There it is. You're trying to save our soul. The pain that you are feeling doesn't compare to the joy that's coming. Great. I want joy now. Why do I have to wait? Right? Why do I have to wait? Why can't I have joy now? I feel joy. Why would you want to wait for it? Right? Do you think anything's going to change when you die? Right? If you don't have the joy of the Spirit now, what's going to be different when you die? Nothing. Right? You can have it now. Why wait? Right? What does thou need? Yes. You're too. Oh, Ashlyn. Yeah, if you are under the age of 18, please leave. This is for adults only. We're not interested in having a conversation with people who are not adults. Very important, right? Very important here. There's some really weird shit on here that people talk about, very inappropriate for our younger people. I don't even let my kids, sometimes they sneak on, right? My children will sneak on here to annoy me, and I tell them to get off, right? Because there's a lot of weird shit that comes on here that's not for kids. Yeah, you want it now? And tonight you're going to light the fires. Live from Farmer Fiona's land in Ireland. She's going to make a big bonfire and she's going to get dance around, skyclad around her fire pit and live stream it from the Wild Kerry, Ireland. That's what the wild is for. Fiona gone wild. She's lost her mind. She's going to be running around naked on her farm. You'll see on the back of her cows, running around naked on her cows and everything. Live streaming, right? Wild Irish woman. Lost all of her marbles. She goes into town. She goes to the only Irish McDonald's there is in Ireland. She's riding a cow through the drive-through naked. I'll have a number 2 combo meal. In the Irish tradition, she'll speak Gaelic to them, right? You've been thinking about the rune you pulled earlier. It just might be the right for a song. You found it beneficial for you, Rich? Yeah. Yeah, I love using runes. It's very helpful to me. Yeah, we're going to watch, Fiona. We want to watch your fires tonight. Yeah, Fred Ruckus. The season is not allowed to change yet. Yeah. We do light fires. You put the last one up. We can only light certain times of year. You're able to do your naked fire rituals. You have been given permission by the local magistrate to engage in heathen-like behavior on your Irish farm there. Yeah, that would make some great programming. Fiona Gone Wild. You're lighting your fire in your house. Now, isn't that dangerous, Fiona? What if you burn your house down? Oh my, burning down Fiona's house. Remember that song? Burning down the house? by the talking heads. That's Fiona, right? She's getting all naked and burning her house down, right? You can see how that she's running on, rolling, throwing her hands in the air, watching her house burn. She's dancing naked around. Uh, Indoctrinate really don't understand what they're doing. No, they don't. They're programmed by their youth groups. My wife was telling me, she's like, we were watching this movie or a TV series about Christian cults. She's like, that was my youth group. How they did their music, how they did all of their initiation rituals. It was really a manipulation. How they did their music, right? This training of manipulating these young people into this experience. They play upon the emotions and the instability of the youth's mind, right? So you got to be careful. She's like, my parents were right to send me to a psychologist now. I understand. My youth group was inappropriate. She said that to my wife, because they were basically turning her against her own family, right? With their Christianity, right? The roof is on fire. Naked Irish ladies running around acting crazy. The roof is on fire. Now say that in Gaelic, right? Oh man, Fiona's gonna put it up. Oh boy. Oh man. No, Dr. Taught, they ask questions for themselves. Yep. You're gonna wear a yellow fur when in the bushes and take over the mountains. Look at Fiona's lost her mind, right? Freedom from thought does not mean controlling your thoughts, rather avoiding being controlled by them. Yeah, very important. Yeah, but not for Fiona. She's just going to run around naked and burn things down, right? She's got to keep Fiona had a thing for a dentist. I think she's upgraded to the fire department gentleman now. That's what this is really about. They're going to, where's the fire at, madam? She goes, right here, right here. Oh, man. Oh, like that kid that was screaming hellfire when we asked what he was saying. He didn't know. Yeah, that crazy Baptist child that was on Oprah, right? He didn't know what the hell he was doing. What's interesting is that kid has grown up and he is not part of his father's religion anymore. Thankfully, that was child abuse. That what that father was doing to his family members, maybe he didn't realize what he was doing. I mean, obviously, I didn't know what I was doing when I abused my own children with religion, right? The smell is amazing. What's going on, Fiona? Are we talking about your pheromones now? Let's go. Fiona's gone wild in the chat here. Pheromone Fiona, calling out the fire department for all kinds of extracurricular activities here. Oh, you don't have to start a fire for the fire department to come. You could create other scenarios to get your fireman gentleman to come visit you, right? Tell them you got a cat, your cat's in a tree, and you need the fire department to come down. That would work out better. Don't burn stuff down to get the attraction of the firemen there, right? Say you have a cat, your cow is stuck up in a tree or something, right? We have to be mindful of the birds. Oh, damn. Oh, my, Fiona. You're glad he left that bullshit? Yeah. He's like a bodybuilder or something now. Yeah. The fire department has been to your house a few times. So you got to make new reasons for them to come out. Oh, I see. I see how Fiona operates here. The smell will blow your mind. Oh, my. Blow out the candle. Yeah. Pheromone Fiona. Right? Yeah. Fiona really loves her fire department and her dentist and other, the supermarket clerk. Right? Fiona has a good old time in her community there with all of the gentlemen there. Oh, my. Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. Fiona. The yellow furs will take over. What's going on with the yellow furs? What is this? Is that you're like John the Baptist now? You instead of camel's hair, it's yellow furs that you wear You're going around eating grasshoppers and things. Fiona. No one is safe from Fiona, right? We all got the fire emojis up now. We're getting Fiona all riled up. Where's my fire department? Fire department emojis. Did anyone got the fire truck emojis for Fiona there? So you're riling her all up. Fiona, you don't have to get specific. It's a bush. Okay, we know about that. You're using adult content now for us, right? We know what it is, Fiona. We know about we know about genitalia here, right? You don't have to get graphic with your fireman desires, right? A burning bush, certainly. Look at it. There it is. Fiona's on fire. Oh my goodness, here. I'm glad I'm not a fireman. I'd probably have an erection by now if I was one. Oh my goodness, here. Oh, damn. General Zog's chicken. It's got the fireman emojis out here for Fiona. Look what you've done, Fiona. I'm sure there's a few firemen in the audience who are like, where can I help this lady out? Right? Where can I help her out at? Right? Those firemen do be ripped, though. Yeah, there's a lot of handsome firemen out there, right? Real fit is the fiddle, right? I don't know what the hell you're saying there, Rich. You're speaking it. Look you're making him speak in tongues. Oh, that's Gaelic, isn't it? Let me interpret that. Fiona, I am a fireman, and I'm very excited about your disposition. See, look at that. He's speaking in Gaelic to you now. He wants to go on a date. Yeah. Oh my. That's why you're not a fireman? Yeah. It's a yellow fuzzy bush. I didn't need to know that. I'm not interested in the color. I really don't need to know, Fiona. Yeah. People's genitalia hairs come in all different colors. It is true. Thank you for letting us know. See, you didn't have. Maybe you should get an OnlyFans page now for firemen, right? So they can be entertained by you in that way, right? He's typing in tongues. Yeah. The wife might get mad. Oh, damn. Yeah, look what you're doing, Fiona. You're causing infidelity to happen here in the chat. It can be scary because the wind can change suddenly. Oh, my. When the wind arouses you, when the wind sets you on fire, you know it's been a long damn time, right? It's been a long day. And that wind gets you in the right way, right? Did you ever see My Strange Addiction, the guy who was humping the air? I mean, that was some weird shit, right? I saw that like last month or something like that. I was like, what the hell? This guy's going around humping the air. He's talking about when the air conditioner comes on, he's all happy with the air blowing out. And it's affected his relationships, obviously. And it's affected him so much, his feet are disfigured from his air humping, right? You can look this up. This isn't bullshit. It's true, right? I didn't realize demons could be gay. Oh, am I a gay demon now? It could be scary because the wind, yeah. Look at General Zog here swelling up, right? He's a fireman, right? He's a fireman, right? Look what you're doing, Fiona. Yeah, let's see here. They want to stop the fire and not burn. They just stand there and watch. Well, I would too. If a mad naked lady is running around drawing my attention, I would be amazed for a minute. Perhaps aroused. I don't know. Right? Maybe you should make one of those new... Fiona, think about joining the Mormon church. That would make a great commercial. Right? Because the Mormons are making commercials to arouse young men now. With the sexy female Mormons in short skirts. Right? Maybe that would you'd make a good Mormon commercial. Get people interested in Mormonism. Right? That might be an idea. Fire starter. Oh no. Fire starter. Oh man. The locals call them, I don't know who pays for them, but they don't do nothing. Well, I'm sure, right? We didn't start the fire, right? As the song goes. Well, look at that. 3 hours, my friends. I have been with you. We've had a great time. We've learned some new facts about Fiona today that we'll never forget, right? Especially if you're a fireman, you're going to be very curious now. If you're in Ireland and someone says their yellow bush is on fire, if the wind is hitting it hard, you don't know what to think anymore. But we'll be back tonight, my friends, playing some Dark Tide with you. Warhammer tonight with you, my friends. Spiritual entertainment. And we'll be back tomorrow, of course, at 8:30. Have a great rest of your day, friends.